Holy top thrill tourists, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast. Welcome everyone into the live show. Yes, this is the podcast where we talk about everything theme parks, roller coasters, all around the world. So yeah, thanks for joining us. If you are listening to this on podcast form, like Spotify, Apple, Google, or whatever, just to let you know, we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. here on YouTube's The Chain Dogs podcast. So yes, how are we all doing, everyone?
Hello.
I'm good.
Hi.
Hello. And as you will have seen on Twitter, hopefully, but if you haven't, we have a new member, full-time member of the team, Emma. How you doing,
Yay.
Emma?
I am good, thank you.
Let's have a round of applause in the chat. Claps in the chat.
Claps in
I'm
the
gonna clap
chat.
myself.
Claps in the chat. Well done,
I'm clapping
Emma.
myself.
You got drunk so much, we were like, yep.
Yeah.
One of us.
One of us.
One of us. One.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the big news. But we have
There's no other news in this.
That's it.
there's no other news this week. We have the most amount of news I think we've ever had on the show this week. Like
Might be
everything's
too much
just
news.
Suddenly,
There's
yeah,
now
I
an
think it
episode of
actually is.
Dispatch from Coaster Bot.
Yeah, RIP.
Yeah.
Not a Coaster Bot, Dispatch.
Wow.
Coaster Bot is a channel, not a person. Chill. It's fine.
It's a human being.
They're a human being, Luke.
Has feelings.
Have some humility, please.
But yeah, there's a lot to go into. Just to list it off, we've got news about the Ultimate, we've got Darren Brown's Ghost Train, we've got Project Exodus updates, we've got Top Thrill Dragster, we've got Grizzly at King's Dominion, we have Darkoaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg news, and yeah, we've got little bits that we might like put in here and there, but there's a lot. We're going to push some back till next week. So the stuff that's coming out of from Universal, like literally an hour ago or whatever, that's going to be next week's episode. There's two.
We'll touch on some bits about it today.
Yeah,
But
we will.
We'll get into it a little bit more next week as well.
Yeah, a bit more in depth.
Yeah. So let's have a look in the chat. So we have Laura, we've got Aaron, we've got Iona, we've got Oscar, we've got Slothy Vlogs in the house.
What's
up?
We got Matt, we got Carl, we got Just Darren, John, we got Hannah, got Out and Back, we got Techno Andrew. Oh, look at that.
That's me.
We got Dan, we got Ads.
Yeah, you don't get a shout out anymore.
No, you don't get a shout out now.
I want one.
We got Chris, we got Claire. I don't know if I said Ads, but we got Ads, we got Marcus. Yeah, we got loads of people. Sorry, Joe. Joe will shout at me if I don't give her a shout out. But there we go. Loads of people in. We've got loads of people in. So yeah, shall we just like jump straight into the news?
I hope Emma is drinking tonight. Come on.
Bless me. Sorry.
Bless you.
What
What are you drinking? Just Coke, or is that like vodka and Coke?
Just Coke.
okay, mate.
Oh, okay.
That was a snake bite.
Oh, it's a snake bite. Oh,
You're gonna hold the fucking co-op
measurement
there or
of
something.
snake bite. Yeah.
Failed to prepare to fail.
So John Wardley interview yesterday, someone mentioned. So yeah, on Lift Hills and Thrills, obviously had John Wardley interview. It pretty good actually. I can't believe he asked the question I asked for. I don't know, like it was good interview, man. I don't know if there's anything in there that wasn't really already known. That's the thing, isn't it? Now with John, with things with John, everything I see now, it's like everyone's asked like the same questions a million times, haven't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just kind of think,
Where the hell is the enthusiasm tonight? Like bloody hell! Come on,
Yeah.
Good podcast, man. You got to talk.
Yeah, it was.
you literally just cut me off from adding to the conversation.
Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Go.
I was just thinking, like, it was kind of like when I was at IAPA last year and I saw like 2021, and I saw all the like what I remember walking past the Intamin booth and just thinking, holy shit, it's Intamin over there. And then my second thought was just like, all right, well, what the fuck am I going to say to these people? Like, what kind of conversation can I bring to them that they haven't heard from every other enthusiast in here? It's the same with the same with John Wardley. I'm just kind of like my input to him is not going to go much further than Yeah, mate, Nemesis is good.
I think the best thing about the Towers Times, I think,
We're back.
was stuff. Everyone was going on about losing their minds over the fact that he said something about the Jumanji coaster being like different, and the capacity.
No shit, it's a shuttle B&M wing coaster.
I was
It'll be
like
a bit different.
Neither most was that concept he talked about, that ride concept that never got made.
Yeah, the one in
the
the
water
fake
Yeah.
station and stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, that was insane. Like
that was crazy.
He's kept that one up his sleeve, hasn't he, for years? Jesus.
Yeah, that's nuts. I hope that happens at some point.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little version of it, like it'd just be so sick just to be faking like guests on a ride.
I would have the
Yeah.
best time stood there all day, just like freaking the shit out of people.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'd have a wicked time. A few beers, like whoa, freaking everyone out. It'd be wicked.
It
Yeah.
would be awesome. It would.
Yeah,
probably have more
the
fun
quick
doing that.
fire questions
Honestly.
too about food and stuff were very entertaining. Yeah, they were pretty good. So
Ask
let's
him how
get
to
into-
operate Nemesis on virtual towers. He'll tell you.
So let's go on to our topics because we've got a lot to get through.
Yeah, let's get
It's
on with it.
news time.
This one's going to be pretty quick. So the Ultimate, obviously, a lot of us found out today that they are officially dismantling the coaster.
R.I.P.
Can we
Which we knew was going to happen.
Can we cue in the Jeremy Clarkson gif?
Which
Oh,
one?
no!
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Come on.
It's an
I
iconic
never got to ride it. My only way is to
I never got to ride it.
sit in
It's
the
in my
egg and
UK
ride
top
VR.
10.
Is it really?
Why?
It is. Why? Do you mean why? You've not rode it,
Yes,
obviously.
I have.
Well, why would it not be in your top 10 then? It was fucking
Because have
brilliant.
you heard his accent? He's definitely ridden it.
I don't know.
That
Made
second
by a
half
train
is
company.
like the
Yeah.
best thing in the world.
The
No,
second
I-
half has some moments, but then you get impaled by your seat. So it's like
My
it's
knees weren't thankful.
I
for
do
the
love that
experience.
straight track in the second half.
the straight track is so good. The brake run, and when you get off,
Oh.
beautiful.
I
They just,
just
love when it has to get winched back to the brakes by
Yeah.
by its own
Yeah,
own chain.
it's exciting.
Like a drone when you press.
I really wanted to do that coaster, not because I thought it looked like a good coaster, because let's be honest, it looked like a terrible coaster, but it was just the fact that it was just such an unusual thing, and it's the whole story behind it was mental as well, like the how.
Yeah, that's just fucking mad. If
It's
you've
just
not
so
seen it, watch
weird.
the Expedition theme
But
park
it's
video
just-
on it. It's mad.
It's just like so British though, isn't it? Like the whole
Yeah.
history, like the way the jankiness of it. I was like, yeah, it's just British.
I
But
took
yeah,
Finley on it and he cried.
yeah,
Yeah,
really.
that's a reaction genuinely. Yeah. It made Frank
He
Kelly
was.
cry. I mean,
He cried and then he said he was never doing it again. So whenever me and Carl went back on it, the actual the ride up let him sit in the booth and watch us on the security cameras go around because it was like a 6-minute ride or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
yeah, it was ridiculous. Delicious.
So he used to like sit inside and watch us on the videos go around.
You,
I'd-
you
I'd
are
say-
right though, Carl. Carl in the chat is saying it's so funny riding it, you can't help but laugh. Yeah, some rough coasters are like that.
It's like Nash.
Yeah.
Nash is rough as balls, but
Yeah.
it's fucking brilliant.
I laugh on it every time,
'Cause
even when
it's
it's
so
like rough
funny.
as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Jay in the chat. How are you doing, Jay?
There are
JB.
coasters that are there are coasters that are objectively not good. That like when you get like a massive group of you on and you're all like loud and rowdy and stuff, and
Yeah.
like that
Someone's
shit
got
is
a pack of
hilarious.
paracetamol to share with everyone. It's all
But-
good.
And you can have that on the Ultimate, but it's like it's
Once.
just
Yeah.
it didn't do.
It's just- it was just
that
quir-
for me
it was
as much
quirky.
as other similar
Yeah.
coasters have.
It's just quirky, and I still think I think it is a loss for the UK. I think it's a loss like for that region. To be honest,
Yeah,
Like,
huge. The part
massive
got
loss for that
fucked
region.
up, got them fucked up. Well, obviously they're going in a different direction, but come on, man. Like,
Yeah, but this
should-
new company's just come in, like torn down something that is like people hold it in like really high regard.
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
locals. Like if
Yeah.
you grew up with that, and the fact that they said a statement about it, just saying, we looked at it for no end on ways we could complete it. I'm like, it's a wooden coaster. Like it's not that.
You
it's
need
not
wood.
Like you need wood and a joiner.
steel,
Like it's
yeah.
not. you know, maybe the structure needs some work and stuff, but like,
I am Raptor.
how many parks around the world have made their own coasters in house? Like, yeah, I don't know, but anyway. Moving on. So next up we have Darren Brown's Ghost Train. Has been rumoured. There's a lot of rumours around this, but it got removed off the app, didn't it? The Thorpe Park app.
Good.
That is the overwhelming opinion.
Yeah,
my
everyone,
God.
So like inconsistent. I rode it twice, and both times it was different. The first time it was all right, and then it glitched out, and then it was just like, what's going on? The second time, James, do you want to tell people what happened the second time? Because
well, it glitched out again, but it completely broke down to the point where the second half VR finished. We were still on the transfer, waiting to go back to the station. Essentially, we were sat there for a good 10 minutes, so having to reset the ride. So they just got us to take our headsets off, and guess what? Just having an interactive experience with the staff.
Yeah,
a lot better than a VR experience on that ride.
And when the train started moving, holy shit, you don't realize how
lot.
much it moved.
It
moves
a
lot. So if they're getting rid of VR and adding practical effects and stuff in,
I mean,
there,
you've already got 2 staff members in there that have to be in there for safety anyway.
Yeah,
there you go. Make them actors.
I mean, all they do is they just touch your legs with a stick.
Was it with a stick? I thought it was with their hand.
No, I saw him with his stick because I could see below my goggles one time, and it probably depends who it is, but
yeah,
someone will touch you up.
So you're going with that one. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I mean, if that was your job to touch people's guests' legs all day, it's really weird, isn't it?
But it'd be such a
that's a weird job to put on your CV.
If they got rid of the VR, made the Windows screens instead.
Yeah, I've said this before, but Hogwarts Express at Universal.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be such a cool experience having actual actors in there, which are the staff that are keeping you safe anyway.
Yeah, they could just build the tension up and then have turn that middle section into something amazing.
Yeah,
so it's you're on the train.
Really, got so much potential, hasn't it?
Yeah, because it's just wasted. I remember doing the amount of times I've done it. You just walk down one way, you get a little jump scare, and then you
honestly the first year of that section. Yeah, in the first year it was really good, and then it got obliterated in the second year. The tube train used to actually come out of the tunnel towards you as you walk past it.
Yeah.
Now they just had it parked there.
But I don't know. I said on Twitter, I was like, I don't, because everyone's like, well, it's a complete failure. I still don't. I don't class it as a failure because, at the time, nothing had been attempted like that before.
No.
I think it was pretty cool that they just went out on a limb. It might have been the wrong decision with the VR. What it was is the VR let it down. Everything else around it
wasn't ready. Technology wasn't ready yet for the idea.
Everything else around it was good. The problem is they based the entire ride on kind of an over-promised tech. I feel like whoever went in there and delivered, said to him this tech, this VR, it can do this. They've probably over-promised. By the time they've tested it with everything going on and realised it's not consistent, it's too late because they've based the whole ride on VR. So it's almost it's one of them where VR was not understood. It's easy to now to look back on it and go, well, how could you have not seen that wasn't going to work for everyone consistently? But I don't know. I think it was good what they did. I've gone on with people and I've seen vlogs of people from other countries come and do that ride and be blown away by it. So it's one of them where I didn't think it was good the last couple of years. It's just been so bad. But when I've had a good run through on it, I've been that was a solid experience.
Yeah.
But also the problem with it is that the re-rideability is pretty low on it. Once you've done it, it's boring. The VR side of it, what's to come. But
the fact that a lot of the stuff they added.
Done it twice. Both times it didn't work because I've not bothered again.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff they added for Rise of the Demon, the fake shop at the end.
Yeah.
Half the time they didn't have an actor there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One-
so it's
one
just
time,
first, like,
we had an actor.
Wait, so what
Well,
was the scare?
It was a guy just not in costume, just a guy stood on that platform.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a giant demon. You're just a guy.
Yeah, we had like the one time that I'd done it.
Oh.
There was what I believe to be a scare actor, but it was just some woman. Like it wasn't a demon or anything. It was some woman who I guess was possessed by a demon or something. But like,
well, there you go.
I mean, it was all right. It was nice.
Well, Bobby says, being the VR, make it a scare experience. I think they should. Like, just have a full year-round scare experience.
I mean,
so many parks in Europe do that now.
like they did try it before with Saw.
Yeah.
But with the fact that this actually has a ride
They
system
built it on
to
a boat.
The fact that this has a ride system to it actually is feasible for them to make that work because they need them staff anyway to run it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why not have them be actors as well?
And it's not sinking. That's a good start. Yeah.
I think there's just so much potential there because, like, rather than just scrap that whole train system, which I think is still so clever,
It is really cool.
It works so well. And just seeing that train when you first walk into that massive building, it's really impressive. It's so impressive. Just the rest of it, that from there on, it's just
the whole
downhill.
theming aspect of like the station, the building, the clothes that the actors wear, to even like the paint color, the color scheme on the wall, the pipes, all that stuff, really immerses you in. And then you get in VR, and it's just trash.
Well, especially now because a lot of people got VR at home.
Exactly, yeah.
And doesn't hold up to it anymore because it's like such an old like generation of it. So,
and the headsets are well heavy as well because they're so old. It's really horrible.
Yeah, but
apparently Aramark are converting the gift shop into a food and beverage offering.
Hey,
yeah,
can't wait for that to not open.
Open your bloody bars.
Don't get me going.
I feel like the saving grace of Aramark is that they will open things because at the end of the day, that's their business.
Well, it's the only way to make money, isn't it?
Yeah. So I feel like they will make a massive effort. It's their staff as well now. It's not like they're going to have low staff. They will bring the staff in, and they will hopefully have everything open. Because there's nothing sadder than going to this happens in parks all over the world I've been to, than going to a park midweek and like half of the food stalls closed, and you're like, oh, that would have been really nice, but it's closed.
They take something off the menu. I hate that. Like, I hate that so much when they take something.
Well, we went to Thorpe for Oktoberfest, and they closed the bars. I was livid. So then we went into went into the restaurant, whatever it's called these days, and they kicked us off. I don't know. I can't keep up with what it's called.
Bar and Grill.
Infinity, whatever.
Infinity.
Was it Infinity now again?
We went inside in there, got a couple of drinks, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're closing this." And we were like, "It's Oktoberfest. It's Oktoberfest, and you've closed every bar."
I think Infinity is called Vibes now, isn't it? It's called Vibes.
Is it?
I can't keep up.
At least it's one word. I mean, that's a start.
So yeah, there we go.
Yes,
Sam's
final closing statement
in there with the
Darren
kill
Brown's go straight
right at the
down.
end. Knock it down.
Nice.
Knock it down, mate.
I mean, this man really likes Sam Perla Valairs, so trust him.
Take it with a pinch of salt, guys.
Trust him.
Oh.
I mean, we mostly agreed, to be honest, though. It needed to go. It needed a big change. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but hopefully it's another dark ride. I feel like they need a dark ride now. They haven't got Darren Brown. Like, they need another big dark ride. So, yeah, hopefully that happens.
Yeah.
But also, I've heard floating around as well the fact that they've got this potential new partnership with Mac, Yorby.
Oh,
the Yorby VR. To come to Towers, even though that's through HB Leisure. There may be something there, but let's hope not. I don't want another VR thing.
No.
VR is for home. So next up we have Thrill Dragster. So did you all see the news? Well, I say news. Did you see the video?
The footage.
Yeah.
The footage of the ride we've seen.
Did you see the 17 clips of the top hat in the video?
Yeah.
See, I was
Look
expecting
nice.
all like maybe a little tease of what they're. Nope.
Yeah.
No teasing of what they're planning whatsoever.
This is Cedar Point.
It's just here's a ride that we closed.
Maybe it's just non-copyright footage for YouTubers to use as a sick of people stealing stuff. Like, there you go. There it is. Use that.
Well,
Talk over this.
Do you know that? Does anyone know I found out the reason they released this video. Do you know the reason they released this video?
I
Share
believe it
with
was,
us.
Yeah,
it was 20 years after they originally announced it.
Yeah, that's it. So on the 9th of January, 2013 was when they first announced that Top Thrill Dragster. So it makes a little bit more sense after you kind of know that they just was like, okay, we need to put something out just to tease what's coming.
But then they say,
And
yeah.
also, I didn't like. So I saw this. I obviously saw this video yesterday, a couple of days ago, or whenever it dropped.
Monday. Yeah.
I didn't understand why everyone was so just like, oh, it's no news. It's like it's whatever. I didn't understand like why everyone was kind of just underwhelmed by it. But then I realized that, then I remembered that Eltor Orion had dropped a video sometime last week or something like that, talking about like all of the like rumors and speculation about like what is going like what it could be and everything, and obviously more details about like the possible involvement with Zamperla and everything. And then it was kind of just like, right, okay, so we basically already knew that it was coming in 2024.
Yeah.
And we already know a bunch know a bunch of things about it that's likely going to be incled. It's obviously still speculation, but
the only thing that
we know
they
a few
kind of
things.
hinted.
So yeah,
is
they
formula.
basically gave us absolutely nothing in that video.
Well, like James said, people are looking into the whole a new formula for thrills.
Yeah.
So
And I did have that thought as well.
So that there could be something there, but I don't know. It's like it's a non-news thing in a way, but it had to be mentioned. But
it was kind of just like it's kind of just
new coaster coming in 2020.
Well,
a
a
little bit self-indulgent, but if you look back through Cedar Point's history, like they did it a lot, adept at marketing in this way.
Yeah,
like they do it
a lot.
They've done it countless amount of times, so like it's not really surprising.
At the end of the day, most of the time, something is better than nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like just putting out something to keep reminding people and getting people excited, and it just gets people talking about it again at the end of the day.
Right.
We're talking about it, and we're
That's
in
the idea, isn't it?
I'm merely excited at the fact that it's been confirmed that it's coming back it's coming back next year.
Yes, yeah.
In a new way.
I mean, so basically, what was seen from because I'm guessing the company who did this, it's the same company whose aerial footage of it have been shown. I haven't got it up at the minute.
Yeah,
I haven't got it here, but it just showed like what's been removed, which is basically everything except for the top hat.
Yeah.
But also, you know, the concrete platforms that the offload and onload in the station have been completely removed as well.
Yeah.
So there's that.
New station, maybe.
So, but the station building's still there.
Ah.
And I think they'll probably maybe keep that because it looks like they'll
Well, there's
keep
rumors that might be going as well.
Yeah.
Like, so like it's interesting from the standpoint of how it's going to change operationally, because Eltor Orion did talk about like it could be using smaller trains, which means less platform attendants, and they may be getting rid of the unload portion of the station, and instead going with a dual multi-move
dispatch.
Yeah, dual dispatch multi-move station.
Which makes sense.
So it's just interesting from that
Line them
standpoint,
up.
whether they're going to retrofit what's left of the station into the new station, or tear down the rest of that station as well. And just how it's going to change from an operational standpoint. The capacity is the theoretical hourly capacity is going to take a hit, but what is going to be included again operationally to mitigate that? And
Yeah, because like Cedar Point need that throughput, man.
Yeah,
all the stories coming out of that place.
Absolutely, they do.
It's it seems like it's a park that is. It's like it sounds like Port Aventura, but like even worse, to be honest. Then you need to do something about that. So if they're lowering the capacity to something of that magnitude as well, because like that is an intimidating sight to see when you see it. So when people are going to the park, people naturally gravitate towards it. I'm guessing.
It's bang in the middle of the park.
It's literally in the middle. You can't miss it.
So iconic. Yeah. Such an iconic
so
ride.
if you're lowering the capacity on that, it's gonna be trouble, really. Well, trouble. I don't know, but it's just gonna
by that I mean like just in terms of it using smaller trains, like it using 12-car trains instead of 16 or 18-car trains like it has in the past, and like that is inherently going to bring a drop in capacity. But like how are they going to rectify that in its operations and stuff? That's what I'm interested in seeing.
Definitely.
Yeah. There we go. Let's see what the chat are saying. Standing next to the foot of it is amazing. Amazing sight. Will the cheese car being upcharged like Enzo?
I just seen Roller Baz saying it'll be a B&M wing shuttle. Cedar Point have got Juman jealousy.
Juman jealousy.
Juman jealousy is insane.
Brilliant.
Ads is pretty much like, I reckon Ads at the minute is pretty much like part of Chain Dogs. Like it's just like we always go back to his comments.
Ads is the behind the scenes. He's the QIL. I've been replaced.
Everything. So he's saying everything so far sounds like a downgrade in terms of capacity and launch power. Hopefully they'll have something up their sleeve. Agreed, man. I think something for me that was a pull towards Top Thrill Dragster was that launch. You know, you can't beat a hydraulic launch. You just can't.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Like you're not wrong, but I'm not buying it. Like because
what do you mean you're not wrong, but I'm not buying it? That's
no. No. Let me finish then. So like,
let me finish.
Of course,
nice,
let me finish, Sean.
You'll get the Macaw rap in a minute, Emma. Don't push him.
He's turning Super Saiyan.
No, go on. Honestly, go on, Macaw. Go on. Sorry.
Go.
Of course, it's going to be a downgrade in power because we're talking about less powerful tech. But I just like I don't buy that like it's gonna just be inherently a worse experience because of it. Like everyone's yes, the launch is a main draw has been a main draw for that ride. But I don't like. I mean, and I can only speak for myself. I'm still gonna get on it and love it. I'm gonna still love reaching the LSM tech that Zamperla is, developing for the new coaster at PNE Playland. Like obviously that coaster is not going to reach these speeds, but Adam Sandy said in all the marketing footage around these new trains and the new LSM tech, they're going to be able to launch trains up to 200 kilometers per hour.
But it's not the speed, though.
I know it isn't. I know it's the acceleration rate.
Yeah.
But dude, 200 kilometers per hour is still 200 kilometers per hour. I know it's the acceleration rate.
Yeah, but it's still not the same as a hot. That's the thing. Like I don't know, man. Like it's like when I do the only thing I can compare it to. I haven't done King Dakar. I haven't done Top Thrill Dragster. But what I'm saying is, when I do Red Force, I love it because when you get to the top, the views are amazing. But I still prefer stealth. Like I still prefer it because of the launch. You just can't. You cannot beat it because you're just that gradual. That I just want that catapult, not just like a gradual like thing. Because then I don't know. Obviously, we can't comment until we do it.
I get it.
Just like
I get it.
People always rate Top Thrill Dragster above King Dakar. Like most of the time, that's what people.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but is that because of the punch though, or is it what else could it be? What else?
Is it the restraint? They just prefer the restraint.
It's for me, it's a smoother launch, and it has the T-bar restraints, the intimate T-bar restraints, as opposed to as opposed to the overhead ones. Plus, the seats comfier.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of the park, so you get a better view. And at the top, there's a bunch of reasons. Not actually because of the power of the launch. Honestly, King of Cars launch is more intense.
Is it?
But yeah, I prefer Dragsters for a bunch of different reasons.
Nice.
Listen, right? I get it. Like I get it. Like I do love that. Like the strength of the hydraulic launches, and I totally get. I'll probably once I get to ride Red Force, whenever that might be, I'll probably prefer stealth to it as well. I'm just saying, Dragster switching to LSM tech I'm not buying that as a reason to come off it. Like, that's disappointing.
Well, no,
I'm still gonna walk off. I'm still gonna be so hyped after I come off that ride. It's still going to be amazing. I'm not questioning whether it's going to be better or not. I'm questioning the fall off. I'm questioning the discrepancy between the two. It's not going to be as bad in comparison to the hydraulic launch as everyone seems to be making out to be. You're still going to jump off after reaching that speed. Yes, the acceleration rate is going to be lower. Yes, it's going to be kind of be like, it's not quite as strong out of an acceleration as a hydraulic launch. But dude, 120 miles per hour, whether you get that on a hydraulic launch or an LSM launch or an air launch or a pneumatic, whatever kind of launch it is, it's still 120 miles per hour. It's still a crazy sense of speed. You still get when I rode both of them, both King of Kart and Top Thrill Dragster, when you reach that top speed, I couldn't scream. I tried to scream, no noise coming out of my mouth. Yeah. The sides of my mouth were flapping. Like, you still get that feeling whether it's a hydraulic launch or an LSM launch, and that's still a crazy feeling in itself. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not buying that it's going to be so drastically worse just because it's an LSM launch.
I just think it depends what you like, man. And I honestly, I just love that hydraulic launch. Like that just kick. You just like on stealth. Like I just for me,
roll back.
I get it.
And I'm not saying like it's going to be a bad coaster because it's not going to be. But for me personally, I still want to go and do it, but the pull to do it is just that little bit less. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just think, like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I'm gonna be sad about the death of hydraulic launches. I'm gonna do it. I'm sad about it. You know,
I will say there is a part of me that
it makes sure. Don't get me wrong. It makes perfect sense. Why? Because it's such a clunky way of doing it. Like there's no way around it. It's costly. It makes it pretty like it goes down a lot.
Yeah,
and I can completely understand why they're going away from that. But also like. I do love that hydraulic launch. So
like the feeling of the feeling on that acceleration,
just the sound of it as well. Like it's just like such a recognizable sound that I just love. But yeah, we'll see what it is. But I'm just I'll never know the difference because I didn't do it. So we'll see it. Let's see what the chat is saying.
Hey, Joe's on my side now. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's frightened of you after that. She's like, let's all just agree with Mikhail because he's shouting.
So, Luca is saying, which is Mr. Stealth, by the way. Stealth is always going to be better. It has one of the fastest accelerating launches in the world. The acceleration on Stealth is still faster than TTD and Car. It's the fastest accelerating hydraulic launch coaster in the world. So what else are we saying? Has anyone spotted any good comments?
I mean, ads went right back at him.
Luca, personally. Top Thrill Dragster and King of Kart are better than Stealth, fast acceleration or not.
And I agree. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, I can't imagine doing King of Kart and being like Stealth is better. Even though I've not done it, I just can't imagine doing that. Like
Stealth has the stronger launch because it is a faster acceleration.
Well, it's in Staines.
But Yeah. But Dragsters and Kingdom Cars are just sustained for so much longer, and it is like you're talking about milliseconds in which stealth is a faster acceleration. It's that same region of intensity just sustained for so much longer on Kingdom Car and what was once Dragster. So
I don't know. Well, something that interests me, we need to move on because obviously we've still got a lot to do. But something that interests me is how the hell, the last time we did Red Force, which was last year, how the hell is that so rough? Like,
I keep hearing
how is it so rough?
It's built on
you go and do
hill.
South and it's not rough.
Yeah.
Rita isn't rough. Like, but Red Force is horrible. Like, it's the front is good. Maybe like the first 3 rows are okay.
Back's terrible.
The back is unbearable.
Yeah.
Like,
When you leave them
not
LSMs,
good.
it's just like you're just fucking shaking all the way up.
It's just horrible. It's unbearable.
Have you seen photos of like the you know what I'm about to say in it? Like
I know what you're about to say.
Looking straight down the launch track.
Yeah.
Like the track looks like it's doing all this and shit. Like it's all fucking jagged and shit. I was like, no wonder it's.
Okay, let's move on to Grizzly at King's Dominion. Grizzly is, if you don't know, so it's a wooden coaster, 1982. It was built in-house, and it's now getting a retrack. It's actually the second retrack it's had. It had a little, partial retrack.
It had one recently.
It had one in 2016, the first two hills. But now Gravity Group are going in there. And they're doing a bunch of things. They're doing like the turnaround. They're doing the first drop.
Yeah,
they're adding some like airtime, some bunny hills in there and stuff. But I mean, the most interesting thing about it is the fact that they're using this pre-cut engineering track that they used on Racer at Kings Island. It's just everywhere I looked about Racer, because they did pretty much over 6,000 foot of track for Racer, and everyone said it like improved it massively.
Nice.
The Beast had some retrack work by Gravity Group last year, and it's not confirmed. I haven't seen it anywhere that it's confirmed that it was this pre-cut engineering track, but it's in the same park as Racer, so it probably did.
Presume, wouldn't you? They wouldn't put it on another coaster if they'd not done it like before.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
It's really interesting. McCall, you know a lot about this, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean to that point about like not knowing if it's if it's the pre-cut track method that they use on Beast, like that's what Gravity Group are pushing, and that's what just wooden coaster manufacturers in general are pushing. Like they're all competing with each other for these new like innovative and just more efficient ways of creating wooden coasters, whether they include steel or not. In the case of like Titan Track or RMC's 208 retrack or anything like that, they're all trying to better create and better sustain wooden coasters. So that's what Gravity Group are pushing. So I can't imagine that they would have just used now outdated methods to retrack Beast while also reprofiling parts of it, like the drop into the first drop into the tunnel and stuff.
Yeah,
so it like you would think that they used the same track design and stuff. But it's just really cool to see that they're doing this with Grizzly, because Grizzly is a good ride. Like I've ridden it. It was quite rough when I rode it, but like it's a good ride. It's a good layout. It's all like in the woods and stuff. So like it's one of those where it's like you get a like a high speed wooden coaster like just zipping through the woods and stuff.
I can't wait to get on an American Woody.
It's a fun time. It's a real fun time.
I can't wait to get on an American Woody like that. It sounds so good, just disappearing on an out and back. Like it just sounds so good. It really does.
gives great night rides because you can't see shit in there, obviously. And just like it's really cool to see that this kind of retracking method from Gravity Group is picking up picking up steam in the sense of how many coasters it's being used on, and just to see more methods of preserving these wooden coasters than just RMCing them.
Yeah. And to comment on that, because obviously when you hear about this new method that they have of pre-cutting the track with a CNC machine, and delivering it on site in bits, people will automatically think, Intamin prefab, all the problems that had. But this one's just, to me, it seems more exciting and more, because the thing is, it's the difference with this is obviously a normal wooden track is this layered on wood like this.
Yeah.
They're literally flipping it on its side.
Yeah.
So it's like 30 times stronger, which hopefully will make it last.
Which is a lot. Yeah.
Which is what it's the same thing Intamin did with the
but
prefabs.
it's the difference with this is the fact that it's not got the metal caps on the end that each portion of the track of the Intamin prefab had these metal caps on the end that had to be like put together. So although you're bringing the cost down, that also means it seems like there is some work that's done on site to like cut into them to like put together, but it just means that parks are potentially able to recreate this with a joiner. They don't have to just then put an order in for a certain bit of track to then get replaced, which is a big problem with the Intamin prefabs. But also, the potential for that, the fact that it's just a CNC machine, is if these catch on, parks would be able to potentially have their own CNC machine,
build their own
and
code.
then
if they so choose,
and Gravity Group then send them some code to print a certain part of the track when they need to do it. Well, print. It's not 3D printing, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Right though.
To cut it out, because you can get small CNC machines, and you can do like a bit. You could do a bit at a time. So you could then do that. So we're talking probably way in the future if it catches on.
Yeah.
But that is you wouldn't be able to do that with a steel coaster, but you could do that with a wooden coaster. So this opens up a whole. If this really catches on, this opens up a whole new.
It's like a new technology to maintain them, isn't it? Going forward, it's like a new look at we can't just keep botching things together. You've got to do them right from the start, and then you've got to keep increasing the technology into the way these things are produced and doing that, like what you said there. If they can print off a turnaround that they need because it's getting a bit rough, for the next 5 years, just do it. Done.
One thing I'll say,
Dragon's Den
is
Sean.
you have to we have to mention one thing we have to mention with this is the marketing side of it as well. One of I believe one of the reasons why the Intamin prefabs didn't really catch on as much as they probably should have, as well as them turning out to be quite fucking expensive, was that they were marketed as essentially wooden coasters that didn't need as frequent
let's be honest. They were saying they were basically trying to allude that they're indestructible.
Yeah,
they did
almost
Apple.
It was saying things like they didn't need just anywhere near as much maintenance as traditional wooden coasters, which has obviously turned out to be a blatant lie.
They literally made the same mistake as saying the Titanic was unsinkable. That's what they did.
You're right. You're right.
Not far off. That's the problem, because I think and a lot of people think that's the reason why we're suddenly seeing all these problems with the Intamin prefabs. I mean, Colossus had to get a whole. It basically got rebuilt again. Let's be honest. It cost the same amount of money than it did, and the reason they spent so much money, there was expensive coasters to begin with for wooden coasters because they were saying, well, long term,
and then weren't checked and maintained frequently.
I mean, Colossus is awesome. I do like it, but it's not the best. I'm hoping that Boulder and hoping that Boulder and Aventura are better.
Think about it. 3 of the 4 Intamin prefabs that have been made have had to have.
I knew where you were going with that.
Massive work on them.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4.
Massively.
So that has to be taken into account both in the marketing of these new of these new retracking methods and in the communication between the manufacturers and the parks. Like parks are still going to have to be doing as much maintenance and checks on these new tracking methods as they have had to do for previous wooden coasters and stuff like that.
So there's a great
for
video
it to have the longevity that it's supposed to.
There's a great video on King's Dominion's YouTube channel that explains exactly what they're doing, and I loved it because it's so good that a park is just like telling you exactly what we're doing, like showing you around it and saying this is what we're doing here, this is what we're doing here. Yeah. But this is a still from that video showing what they're doing to the new track. So if you can see the top faint line is like the existing profile. They're now basically making it steeper by from 45 degrees to 55 degrees. But they're able to lower it. They're able to lower the track a lot, so they'll be able to do this. So it's pretty significant, really.
It's awesome.
So yeah, it's just I was so impressed by like a park just being so open about it and being like, this is what we're doing. It's going to be amazing. And the guy I can't remember his name, but the guy who is like the lead engineer on this, he was like so enthusiastic about it. Like he was like, I grew up with this coaster. He's from like he's just like, it was a really, really good video. So I suggest just checking it out. So let me just go quickly on to the next topic.
Yeah, let's go.
Did we skip over Exodus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. We missed it.
Oh god! Right,
Circle on back.
What's Exodus, mate? I've never heard of it.
Let's go back closer to home. Let's go back closer to home now.
Just quickly before we do, Universal Orlando have just tweeted out what a roller coaster day of announcements. Are they going to drop a coaster announcement at some point?
Don't know. Might be live on air. Imagine
breaking news mid podcast.
I'm going to keep them refreshed.
Universal's next week though.
We're going to do Universal news next week because we just didn't have enough. We've got so much to squeeze in. Exodus, Project Exodus. Lots been going on site for the last few weeks. And obviously Thorpe did this whole thing where they're trialing this Facebook group, which is pass holders exclusive Facebook group. They're staggering it out, people joining to it, and they've been releasing like footage. So if I share some footage, we got some good footage. Good footage.
Some
good footage, man.
It's on its way.
Good footage.
Good footage, man.
It's here.
So this was the original video. There we go.
No longer sleep.
Oh my goodness.
Oof.
Can we get an F in chat, please? Thank you.
So sad.
There you go.
The guy's just like, fuck the roof.
I mean, that does look like a fun job.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then this was an hour ago, which
really?
Wow. Oh, hold on. Am I still not sharing my screen anymore? What's going on?
No.
Oh,
Stop.
Yeah, this was an hour ago. So this is
wow.
like now. It's
They've fully got rid of it. It's all done now.
It's a great view of Saw though.
Oh yeah, that's
a nice
airtime hill. That's a nice.
Was he aiming for Saw?
I wish.
I like Saw. Leave it.
I was about to say, why do you wish? What?
Behind you, mate. You're doing the wrong thing. Imagine if no one tells him what he's supposed to destroy and he just goes and knocks down Burger King.
It just starts going.
It starts going down Frontier.
He goes off to Colossus because that's already got bits removed.
Oh, this has got bits removed. Right, crash this.
More importantly, though, this video was released in the Facebook group, which is the footers for Exodus, which attraction source. I saw it through attraction source. They pointed out that these are exactly the same type of footers as Mac, especially the new Dipper coaster they're building in Thorpe Park.
Yep,
they are like bang on. So further proof, if we don't need any more proof that it's going to be Mac, there we go. We've got
it's a Mac.
But that is, I mean, come on. To me now, yes, okay. bringing down a building is great, but to me that gets me excited. That's like we're started now. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
It's like we're on our way. So there we go.
How long till the drones go up?
Probably already
Everyone-
has
They're probably already up, mate. I'm not gonna lie
drones
to you.
everywhere.
You can't like literally you can't stop drones as long as the people are off the site. They don't own the airspace, so it's really difficult for these places to like stop the drones going over.
Product. Yes.
So
I'm excited. Exodus. I can't wait for that thing to be built and to Thorpe know what they're trying to do, and then that'll be good. Be happy then.
it's going to be great. I'm going to look. It's going to be so. It's going to transform that park.
I'm still holding out hope that they just go, oh yeah, screw the train design. By the way, we're making it an extreme spinner. I just want it to be
right to Exodus.
I mean, it's just a shame that they didn't. It's a shame that they didn't go. I mean, obviously, I'm excited about this, but having an extreme spinner in the UK, imagine that. Like, that would be so bloody good.
Like one on the level of Ride to Happiness.
Yeah.
Carl is asking Emma,
Emma is eating a pork pie.
Well,
Yeah.
Nice. I like
I'm
it.
hungry.
Yeah.
Mongray. Love that.
Northern food hour.
So there we go. Look at how.
Well, 3 out of the 5 of us are from the north, so.
Look at how the bear track around it is too. Looks when Saw first opened.
yeah.
Yeah. Very true. Right. So next up, what we got? Darkoaster.
Oh yeah.
Straddling around.
So I'm just going to play this video just
BT.
just in case people have no idea what the hell Darkoaster is. But Darkoaster is an Intamin. It's a multi-launch coaster, but it's kind of being marketed as a straddle coaster just because of like the train designs. And it's at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. What's everyone laughing at?
Just the way Emma just sat there, just enjoyed that pork pie.
Yeah, mate.
I'm just keeping myself to myself. Leave me alone.
This is our new host, by the way. Just eating a pork pie.
I'm hungry.
I was never told we could eat on
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed
I was
that
never
memo.
told I wasn't. So, you know, back
It's
up.
a new rule now. We're allowed to eat.
We're allowed to eat. I'm going to get a fry up.
Yeah. Tuck in. Weatherspoon's
We've
breakfast.
got to tell you, Emma, that is like the first rule of being a chain dog. You're not allowed to
Do
eat on the
not
street.
eat.
Like, you cannot do that. This video is not playing for shit. Sorry, guys.
Doing screenshots. We'll talk about the screenshots.
Oh god.
Mate, why be screenshots? The way
Oh,
the frame
no.
rate,
Whoa,
this
it's killed you. You're dead. There you are. Right.
is... There we go.
All right.
So yeah, so here we go. So it's like, I mean, it is a dark ride coaster. That's what it's being marketed as.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a basically Busch Gardens. They used to have a dark ride called Curse of Dark Castle, and it got taken out. The whole show building got gutted in 2018.
Emma, by the way, can you get off WhatsApp?
No, what's that?
Yeah, I can tell you. You're looking down. You're looking down at.
My feet.
Pork pie.
You're right. Yeah.
Got a 4-pack ready to go.
Carry on, McCall.
Back off.
I've forgotten where I was now.
Dark Castle, bro.
Yeah, Curse of Dark Castle. The dark ride got taken out in, I want to say 2018, and it's been used for just like an event space since then for their Halloween event, for their Christmas event, for Howl Scream and Christmas Town, and now they've decided to they had a couple of scare mazes in there, and they had for Busch Gardens just in general, both at Williamsburg and Tampa, they have some kind of Santa's Grotto kind of attraction for their Christmas Town events, and if I remember correctly, like Busch Gardens Williamsburg's one was in that show building. But yeah, now they've decided to put a permanent ride in there again, you know, an indoor roller coaster, and calling it Darkoaster, just as an ode to, you know, the old Curse of Dark Castle dark ride, which was really beloved by people who used to go who go to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg frequently.
Yeah.
Like it was really a loved just attraction there at the park, and I got to ride it. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good dark ride as well.
What was it? Just a like a motion sort of thing, or was it?
It was a tracked dark ride. It went through. You think of the same tech as Amazing Spider-Man, not the same,
okay.
not the exact same ride system, but the same premise. Just attract dark rides. It combined screens and physical props. I can't really remember the story of it off the top of my head, but yeah, like you went through rooms that were elaborately themed. That it was like the tech of the screens. Like the screens were always really clear, and like it transitioned in between rooms the same way as Amazing Spider-Man does.
Wow,
so it was a good dark ride. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, cool.
But there's been new this week. They put on Twitter that the actual cars, the trains have arrived.
Yeah,
They did look
Jet skis.
They look cool.
They
yeah.
do look
So
like jet skis, don't they?
I think
they do
there's snowmobiles.
Oh,
So yeah, pretty much like kind of they look similar, but
sleek.
yeah, they are.
mean,
They are snowmobiles.
There we are.
There you go. And they look good. They look nice. They're gonna look good with, you know, the ride specific branding on there, the Busch Gardens branding. Like they're gonna look nice. I'm just and yeah, this is just Busch Gardens just teasing that the trains have arrived. Like, you know, construction is ongoing with this thing. I just really hope that the theming side of this is up to scratch, which I'm kind of fearful it won't be, just because of the period of time that these Busch Gardens parks and SeaWorld parks are going through with when it comes to like management and shit,
Right?
Which I won't go into. But
we talked about it before, I think.
yeah, we don't need to hash that again. But
So
yeah,
go
that's my big hope for this. It's just
so that's that. We're going to move on to Magic Kingdom before we get into our main topic, which is what made us an enthusiast. So hang in there, guys. We're getting there.
It's coming. It's coming.
We're getting there.
I'm gonna
I mean, at the end of the day, we're just getting pure content to cut down for YouTube at this point, aren't we?
yeah.
I mean, we can have. Oh, we can just have a loop of Emma eating a pie. There you go.
That's true, man. That'd be for the TikTok.
I enjoyed that pie, so
Good. Yeah.
It's a good. I'm glad you did.
I reckon next week we should all
Instant million views.
Next week we need to have like a mukbang where we just order. Like,
Oh my god! Yes. Now we're fucking talking.
I am down.
Love that shit. I'm down for
I am
that shit.
down.
Might just eat a spag ball. Just
I'll
I
find a
get some
spot for it.
crunchy food in. I'll have a
ASMR.
So-
ASMR.
the craziest news got announced this week over at Magic Kingdom. Finally,
Was it the craziest news though?
no,
I don't think
the-
it was.
I mean, I know
I know
you're in Canada, but like sarcasm exists, mate.
Hey,
Yeah.
So here we go.
Specific Northwest man, it does things to you.
Yeah. So yeah, they announced through this
oh, I thought he was talking about the fireworks.
pretty.
So did I. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I forgot about Tron.
Forgot about Tron.
Everyone forgot about Tron.
It's been 84 years.
It's been 84.
I've seen this thing get constructed, for fuck's sake. Like,
That's not what it is.
This is the main news.
woo! Yes, 4th of April, Tron will open.
But yeah, so yeah, 4th of April, Tron is opening,
Brilliant. Move on.
which is like, come on, like this is like the first thing I thought about is like, okay, for your average park, this video is fine. this is Disney, guys. Like, what is this
Yeah.
video about?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this has been
I'm
done in like,
expecting-
what
Yeah.
the hell is this?
Why is it not a full on behind the scenes with like the Imagineers and everyone getting together and seeing
I mean,
train
What
go
what
and,
happened was they gave an apprentice the account and was just like, just do something.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
No, they're
I
like,
mean, to be fair, traditionally, like Disney don't really do like mad adverts for their rides, do they?
no, I
really?
mean Guardians of
Like,
the Galaxy wasn't that good.
Yeah, but we've been waiting 50 years. Do something.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I reckon. I think Disney Plus they're going to put something on about it. Being a coaster at Magic Kingdom, I think it's going to be a big thing. I hope.
Hope so.
Hour long.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what you hope they do.
I hope so.
I have no reason to believe they'll do anything.
I just
Hey,
think
Iger's back. Anything's possible, right? Let's go.
It looks like a Beat Saber level. It does actually.
yeah, it literally does.
Yeah, it does
That's
actually.
exactly what it looks
Wait,
like.
Before Beat Saber.
VR at Disney confirmed.
No,
Oh,
absolutely
get
not. I
the
don't
fuck-
think so. No.
Get
No.
the fuck out.
But the funniest thing about this whole thing was that, like, the day before it was announced. Well, no, the same day it was announced that on the 3rd of April, that Happily Ever After, the show, is going to be coming back. Right? Is it the 3rd of April? Yeah.
Yep.
And then like, so here we go. Like Tim Tracker put.
This was
Same.
brilliant.
This is the same day. Yesterday, I asked when Happily Ever After was coming back. Today, Disney released the date. I'm going to try again. I wish they would just tell us the date Tron is opening. And was this like half an hour late or
It was
something like that?
literally
Literally like half an hour
15
later.
minutes
Half an hour later,
or
this
something.
video
Literally
went
half
up.
an hour later.
One scroll on Twitter and there it
And
is.
I was like, that was mind blowing. But yeah, I mean, if anything, like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for Tron to come.
Can't wait to
open
ride it.
finally.
It's gonna be sick.
I can't wait to ride it. It's going to be really, really good. But I was a little bit more like, I was a lot happier that Happily Ever After was coming back. I've got to say, like someone
Well,
who
Tron's just been memed half to death now. Like
Yeah.
no one really like cares that much that it's here anymore. Like or that it's going to be here soon.
it will
I
be
would,
different.
like-
It will be different when we get on it, I think. But it's
Yeah.
just like it's one of them things where I'm kind of just like sick of it, like just the anticipation of it, and like you know, we've just gone
Yeah.
to Florida, so we're not going back to Florida for like a few years. Like we just
Right.
not, because there's so many other places I want to go to. I'd rather go to other places in America than go back to Florida. You know, I've done it twice in like the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Years, yeah.
Ooh,
So I
sorry.
probably wouldn't do. It's just the way, mate. It's just what we
I'm
do.
going back.
You know what I mean? No,
It's
I mean it's good. I think like the second time around doing it, it was really, really good. But I kind of did feel like for the price you're paying, the second time around for me wasn't as good as the first time around, because I'm like, it was basically just going back and doing the same stuff you'd done, but paying so much money for it. Like it's just ridiculous. Like I love the place, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna give it a few years before I go out. I mean, like, look at all the places in America I want to go. Look at all the places in Europe I want to go. Like the price of an America trip could fund me doing probably most of the parks in Europe. Like, that's how crazy it is. Like it's so mad.
That's why I've never been to America, because
Yeah.
there's a million things I could do for the price. That one thing.
But not, it's
I've
not
just
even.
never been fussed.
It's not even America though. It's just
Well,
Florida.
yeah,
like it's
Florida.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is legit just
Like-
Florida.
I could-
Carl
we
would
could do-
tell
Yeah.
you, whenever we discuss, like, he talks about Florida, I've always said to him, I don't care about going to Florida. I'd rather go to other parks in America over Florida
Yeah.
any day.
Mm.
I just don't care for it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It is amazing. The first time I went, it blew my mind. But like, I remember this time around, I remember just being like, even though, you know, Velocicoaster was there and stuff, I was like, I'm missing coasters, man. Like, I really want fucking like they have got coasters, but I was like, just going to Busch Gardens for a day, it was like heaven. Because I was just like,
Yeah, and that's what's great about Florida, though. You can get both. You can get the best of
you
both.
can, but it's just not like you've got SeaWorld really, and you've got. I mean, I know like Island, like Velocicoaster is worth it in itself, but Islands hasn't got the best selection of coasters ever. Like it just hasn't. Like, so I don't know. I just got into it going like, well, looking at the cost of it, it just didn't equate in my mind to go back again. Like this year, I was just like, it's just too much. Like
we need to get you to some Six Flags and Cedar Fair.
That's what I want.
Is what you're saying, mate.
I want to do a massive tour of like like Cedar Fair parks, Six Flags parks. I just want to like nail it and just do it because that's what I want to do. I love it. I love Florida because you get a bit of everything. You get some of the best dark rides in the world and stuff. But I don't know. After my second time there, I was kind of like, I'm ready to do more.
I really enjoy Disney, and I enjoy it more than what I thought I ever would. So I'm going to Paris in March. So I'm hoping that if I can get that fix by going Paris like once every 8 months or something, then that's going to be great. That's going to be really cool.
I'd said it's not even Florida, it's specifically Disney. It is and it isn't. Like you can do, it is. Yeah. I don't think it is. Like it's very expensive. Like it's so much more expensive now.
It's Florida
than when we went in like 2019.
Yes, Claire.
2020. It was like nowhere near as expensive as it is now. It's like everything's gone for the roof. Like we just got that multi-pass like ticket on like attraction tickets where it just got you everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Obviously, we did Halloween Horror Nights, which adds a bit money onto it. But it's honestly, it's this spending money.
How much did that throw on top of it to do that? Say if you're going for one night.
It's about
one night.
It's like 70.
But it was $74.
I would suggest not going for one night. Like you won't enjoy it. You'll just be like trying to get through.
Oh yeah, no.
You would do 2 nights, but when you start looking at doing 2 nights, then you go, well, I'm going to get that like the multi-pass one, which is about 140. But it's not even that. It's the spending money. Like that's what it is. It's everything else.
Yeah.
It's like if like I'm not going to get like. I'm not going to try and hunt down like public transport everywhere. That's me. I'm going to just get Ubers because they're cheaper enough, but they end up adding up to quite a lot. But like, yeah, it's just everything. And I'm just like, I could just, anyway, I'm on this topic for too long now. But anyway, Happily Ever After. I'm glad that's coming back.
And Tron.
But Happily Ever After.
News. I will say bigger news though, with Tron opening, the railways back open, which is sick. That's so cool.
And we can't forget the car parking fees being removed.
At Universal.
We can't leave that. We can't leave that out, lads.
How was that Universal, right?
Was that at Universal?
Not at Disney.
It was just like
no. It was at Disney.
Was it Disney? You sure?
What they're doing? What now?
It was at. I think it was like
at
a hotel or something. So
what?
We're removing some car parking fees.
I thought it was Universal. I only saw like a brief comment on it, like on Twitter. It's for Disney are getting rid of parking fees.
Not for the entire thing. I think it's just at the hotels.
Be careful now.
What you have to? I didn't even realize you had to pay for the parking at the hotels.
You have to pay to park anywhere in Florida.
I know that's a thing in like most hotels off site, but I didn't realize you had to pay on site at a Disney. Jesus Christ! Like that's not even news, is it? Like
no. I bet it's like $40 a day as well, or something stupid.
But if you're staying on resort, you don't need a car. That's the whole point. Why would you stay?
Yeah.
Why would you stay on site?
Though. Like a lot of vloggers I see,
don't forget the car culture in America, please. Like people.
That is true.
People will drive anywhere, whether there are good public transport links or not.
The only reason I would pay the Disney money to stay on resort is to not have to like drive or get Ubers. You could because if you wanted to go and do Disney, you could stay on resort and you'd save a lot of money because most of the time if you're doing Disney and Universal, you'll probably spend more time at Disney because there's just more parks to try and fit in.
Yeah.
So then you would just like, what? That's just so dumb. I don't know. But yeah.
Anyway, Happily Ever After.
Yeah. So what was the show that they've just brought to
Enchantment?
Enchantment. So the first show I ever saw was Happily Ever After. Enchantment was great. Like from a technical standpoint, it was amazing.
It was phenomenal,
and it was
I'm so glad I've seen
show.
it. Yeah.
But for me, and Joe thought the same as well. It didn't hit me in the feels. Happily Ever After.
Yeah,
really I didn't like I'm not a massive Disney fan. Obviously I grew up with the films, but there was something about Happily Ever After that actually like
it's
hit me
happy.
it was so good. Like it was so good. So I'm happy that they are bringing that back, and they've obviously listened to feedback and said, I don't think that Enchantment was bad at all. It was just not as good. It wasn't as good.
Just a quick one on Disney shows. Paris have announced the new drone and fireworks show on Avengers Campus as well. A new one.
I don't care about Avengers Campus.
That'd be interesting. It's fireworks though.
All right.
But it's pretty cool though that they're doing more, because Harmonious is going as well, isn't it? At Epcot. So
yeah.
They're obviously looking at the show lineup and mixing it up here and there, and it's going to be interesting to see. I wonder if we're going to use drones in Happily Ever After somehow.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
There you go. Claire said Enchantment was soulless. That kind of like what I felt like. It was kind of like all like it was so like shiny and like all this crazy like the projection mapping was great and everything.
It was insane.
It felt like.
Yeah,
felt just corporate as hell to me. It just felt like, oh, look how good this is.
Sponsored by Pandora, Sean. It's going to be.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So there we go. So that's Magic Kingdom news.
Is that the news done?
Well,
I don't mean to shuffle anyone along, but it's been 1 hour 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is what you're gonna have to put up with.
Right, Universal. No.
Did we want to just
Las Vegas?
Did we want to just talk about this though?
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
You don't have to read it. We're going to explain it. Don't worry.
Let's bring it up.
I feel like I missed this.
Obviously, there was a lot of Universal news before we went live, and we're not going to go into that this week because there's just not enough time.
But at the same time, this is going to be hard to explain without that context.
No, it's not. It's fine. This is an article talking about Universal's plans, but in this, right at the end, it lists their parks as being in Florida, California, Asia, and Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So this adds fuel to the fire about this Portaventura rumor about being taken over by Universal
again.
And
unless it's a misprint and people thought like, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Okay.
But weren't Universal involved in opening PA?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Originally,
they took it on. They
so is that maybe why they've
yeah
printed it as that?
No.
You killjoy.
Here, so that article from the Dallas Morning News said that there was another article from Bloomberg that listed off kind of in the same manner.
Yeah,
listed off like the properties that NBC Universal owns. Spain was not included in their list of like they said Florida, California, then they said Singapore and Japan. So Spain wasn't included in the Bloomberg article, which just makes me think that they may or may not have already made the repurchase. They're just waiting for the right time to announce it.
Maybe.
Because in addition to that, as I heard on Discord this morning, Universal have apparently filed a new trademark for marketing services, theme parks, and hotels. As a part of that trademark, the first language is in English, and the second is Spanish.
Mm.
That trademark apparently got filed last week.
Whoa. There we go.
I just want European Halloween Horror Nights. That's all I want.
Yeah, could you imagine?
That's what everyone
Halloween
wants.
Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Like, because if they do the same as what they do with Hollywood,
Portaventura already go harder. They already go harder at Halloween, don't they?
We've been twice to Portaventura with Halloween, and it's great. We love it. Like, it's so good. I mean, last year we went because of COVID and stuff. It wasn't as good as usual because there was less like entertainment about. But you could say that about every single most theme park events, because just getting entertainers there is hard. But if they did the same as what they do with Hollywood and Orlando, where they like mirror the events and change it up slightly for the audience, that'd be so good. Imagine being able to do like Halloween scare maze as in the Halloween the film, Scare
Yeah,
Maze,
yeah.
over in Spain. It'd be
Ah.
fucking amazing.
That would be
just
nuts.
to clear
Then
up
jump on
just to
Shambhala.
clear up the answer to James's question as well. Ads put in the chat. Universal purchased Port Aventura from Two Swords.
Yes,
that's actually what
it.
happened.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we got that right.
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Wardley helped with the creation of
Two Swords and Tibidabo, and I think Anheuser-Busch is what he means by Busch. Designed and opened the park, and then Universal bought it from Two Swords later.
Yeah.
And stuck Woody Woodpecker in there. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. But yeah,
It was,
like
It's the mascot
like,
for years.
I want Universal in Europe as much as anybody does.
Oh my god.
it's
And-
the perfect. It's the
and-
perfect place to have it. It was like John Wardley said at the Towers Times event. He was just like, the fact that Disney went to France, like
Yeah.
where they've got basically British weather,
This
where
is-
you go
this
to
is-
Port
this is-
Aventura. You
this
could have
is
done. You could have
exactly
done.
it.
It could have gone to Salou, and then you have
Yeah.
like good weather most of the time.
And like
Um,
Universal have matched the whole aesthetic. Like you go to either of the Universal resorts, there's palm trees everywhere, just like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Hard
yeah.
Rock Cafe. Like the aesthetic matches good weather, which is why it's in
Yeah.
Florida and California, and the ones in Asia as well.
I mean,
So like I've always thought of
Mm.
a Europe one being in either Spain or Italy.
If it's going to be
Yeah,
anywhere,
just
it's,
like
it's where it
one of those
was, I
southern
think.
European countries right next to the Mediterranean that
It's
has that good weather.
back when like it first opened, and then when Universal had it, very different times to now. Like the world is like so much more connected. That John Wardley said was like how like the kind of the European culture was just like so different to like the American culture. I feel like that's a little bit more. It is still true to a certain extent.
It's a
but I
lot
just feel
closer
like
than what it was.
it's a
though.
lot closer. There's more people. There's more tourists traveling to Salou
What props it up?
now
Yeah.
because it's just it's on the map, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like people go there all the time. So I think it would just be perfect. And then suddenly slapping Universal on it,
Can
you'll
I
get
just
so many people there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a point before it gets lost. They have a lake as you walk in.
Yeah,
Imagine if they put an Intamin coaster there.
Lost the
get,
coaster.
get rid of Furious Baco. That'd be great.
Someone
Yeah,
do it
sure.
on No Limits, please. Do it. Get it done.
That'd be so good, man.
Imagine,
Oh.
imagine Shambhala
The
and that and
possibilities.
Dragon Khan, just a line of coasters.
And hopefully we're gonna get. Hopefully.
And
We're
it's
gonna get Emma,
Uncharted
we're gonna get, we're
ride
gonna
as
get
well.
Emma over to PA this year. Hopefully,
I've been 2 times.
you've been. Who is it who's not been?
I've
Carl.
got me.
Carl.
I'd say I've been,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the 2 times I've been is like in school age. So there was no Shambhala, there was no Baco. there was
That's
no
what I'm. That's what I'm
Mondo.
thinking. Yeah.
Oh, that
that's
part's gonna look
obviously what I'm
so
thinking.
different to you. Like I
It's-
remember
it's
when I
definitely
went back when
different, yeah.
Shambhala was built, I was like, I don't remember Dragon Khan being that small.
Right.
I was just
Yeah.
like, legit.
Yeah,
that is
it was
good.
literally Dragon Khan. That was the big thing when I
Yeah.
went like twice.
Yeah, Stampeder.
Chris Ryan,
Flash.
Baco is not brilliant. It's not brilliant. Not. It's I don't everyone. There's a lot of people who say Baco.
Break your
It's
Baco.
not. It's
No, it's
not. It is break your Baco.
projections in there like Baco stays. Baco stays.
I reckon I like it.
Projection.
I well think I like Baco. I'm one of them people. I reckon.
I thought
I
I'd
like the
that as well.
launch. I like the launch.
The launch is
and little bit
great.
of
The
airtime's
launch is
great,
so
but-
good.
and
But
after
then
that,
you just get launched into may as well
Yeah.
just get launched into like a load of needles. Like
Yeah.
yeah, great launch, but then I'm just pure pain for the rest of it.
I liked it when I rode it in 2016, but I rode it in 2016, so like, I can't really comment on how it is now.
Do you remember when it snapped its harnesses? Do you guys remember that?
No, I don't
No.
It
know
was like
that.
No,
when
what?
was it? It was like 4 or 5 years ago, I think, or maybe even earlier than that. It literally snapped the harness, like it snapped straight off, clean
Mm.
off, and they closed it for ages.
Well, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yes,
I love that.
yeah.
It's really
remember it?
appealing to me.
Ugh.
So
It's safe.
main
though. Roller
topic, we've
coaster.
got to do
Alright,
it now.
alright
Let's
then.
go. Let's go.
Yes.
Right. So, what made you a coaster enthusiast? So we'll go around the table.
I feel like Emma should lead this off since she's
No, we'll
the-
just
the
we'll
new
go
kid on the block.
we'll go in order. We may as well. So let's
Go
start
on.
with James.
Stealth. And yeah, so stealth and kind of
So what age?
when
were you?
I kind of got into it was as Swarm was being built.
Right.
So it was like seeing the construction of that and going on to like Thorpe Park Mania, and then starting to get involved with the
Right.
kind of like meets through there.
Yeah.
It's kind of what got me hooked.
How old
But yeah,
were you? Like around that time?
when was Stealth built? 2012.
2000.
2012, wasn't it?
2012,
22.
yes. So
Wait, Stealth?
no, Swarm. I
Oh,
meant
Swarm.
Oh,
Swarm.
He originally
That
said
was 2012.
he originally said Swarm, and then he,
Yeah, Swarm.
Oh,
So
sorry.
2012. So that about 15, 16ish. I think 15 maybe.
yeah.
So yeah, like it's like I wasn't young when I got into it, but yeah, just kind of like getting on Stealth for the first time. That being my first main coaster, like big coaster.
Yeah.
Bit insane,
okay.
but
Nice.
kind of got me hooked instantly. So
You're right over there, Emma.
Oh yeah, no, all right, don't worry about
Yeah,
me.
she wants attention. So
No,
Emma,
I didn't say words. I'm not talking anymore. Leave me alone.
no.
I'm new. Stop bullying me.
she's
Oh,
gonna
got
quit
it.
already.
Yeah. No,
I am done.
You've got. I know you can take the banter.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna go join off the tracks. Then let me eat pork pies. And
Emma, that is Emma. That was disgraceful.
Got a flake with that. Got a flake with that snake
Oh
bite.
my good lord.
Got calling the caterpillar for your fucking snake bite.
she's training the bar as well.
Wow.
Yeah. I am.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah.
So Emma, what made what,
I just give a shit. So Emma,
let's pull this back, guys. Right. Emma, what turned you into an enthusiast? What would you say was like? I guess you can talk about like your earliest memories, and then
Yeah,
like,
so-
what that turning point to enthusiasm was really.
I think I have my dad to thank for being an enthusiast because growing up, my mum and dad were separated, so we saw my dad once a week, and he would always save up the coupons out of the newspaper back in the Stone Age
Yeah.
for like cheap days
Tele-
out.
Teletext.
For like cheap days out, and
Yeah.
that's what we used to do. Like I used to see once every week, and during the season, we just used to go to different theme parks. And I remember I did a video about it back on Top Thrill Tourist on YouTube, about becoming an enthusiast and stuff. And I've got photos of me. I've got a photo of me at Blackpool Pleasure Beach in a pram. I've got
Yeah.
photos of me with my dad, like at all ages at Pleasure Beach, which has my heart.
Yeah.
But I do have him to thank because my dad was always the one that took us to theme parks, and then I've just rode any coaster I can from any age. But then I suppose growing up, it wasn't until probably about 5 years ago when I realised that like theme park enthusiasm. Lola, go to bed. Go to sleep. That like theme park enthusiasm, it was a thing. Like it wasn't until going through YouTube and realising there was vlogs on it. I never knew. So it's probably about 5 years ago, really, that I became a proper. She's mocking me. A proper enthusiast.
Yeah.
But it's all down to my dad because he's the one that made me enjoy coasters. So.
But Lola, if you don't go to bed, we're banning you.
I'm gonna.
and your mum.
It's because I can't hear her because I got my headphones on. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep. Obviously not.
Yeah. Matt said, my mum and dad took us to theme parks all the time as kids. Every holiday involved rides.
Yeah, like I said, I've been to PA twice. Was with my dad because we'd go on holiday to Spain, to Salou, to Barcelona, and we'd always make the trip to PA.
Yeah, I'll go next just because like it kind of links on to what you were saying was like obviously I grew up like 10 minutes from Drayton Manor, so that was a massive thing. We'd go to Drayton Manor quite a lot, but it was when my mum and dad split up in like I think I was about 8 or 9 when my mum and dad split up. So like when I was with my dad, we'd go to the cinema or we'd go to like Drayton Manor, and so me and my sister we'd just like sometimes he used to come on rides with us, but then eventually he'd be like, "No, I'll just wait here, whatever." Like, so we go to Drayton Manor quite a lot. And then I remember going with like my dad took me to Blackpool for like a day. Like when I was about, I think I was about 10. I think we went to Blackpool. It was just me and my dad. We went to Pleasure Beach, and I remember doing yeah, it was 10 because it was like when the year Valhalla opened, and
Nice.
I remember doing that, and it flipping blew my mind because I was just like, I grew up watching, you know, like you remember when you used to get like Disney VHSs, if you're old enough. You get Disney VHSs sometimes at the start of like all the trailers, they would show like Disney parks.
Yeah, they would.
And I used to see that it made them. I mean, they are amazing, but it made it look. And I was like, I so want to go there. Like my family did not have the money to do that sort of stuff, like Disney at all, which is why I've only done it as an adult.
Yeah.
But like I remember doing Valhalla and being like, gee, like I felt like I was like at Disney or something, like, and that's why I hold like Disney. I hold Valhalla in like such high regard because I remember doing that when it was at its best. It was incredible with all the effects working and everything.
Yeah, and, sponsored by the Daily Star.
That's when I do kind of regret missing. Is Valhalla when it was like at its peak.
Like, and I think that's what yeah, it was just so good, and I mean we're not going to talk about what's coming up about the Valhalla drama at the minute, but when I really started getting into enthusiasm was when I didn't go to Alton Towers until I was in high school, went on a school trip.
That's mad. Same.
And
you fucking live well close.
I know, yeah, but like like honestly, like I always wanted to go to like Alton Towers, and my mum she was like, we're not made of money. We're not going to Alton Towers. We've got Drayton Manor down the road. You know what I mean? Like,
Drayton Manor at home.
That's the way. That's
Towers at home. Yeah.
As a mum,
we've got rides at home.
Who's got no interest in. My mum doesn't not like rides at all. So that's that. You know, fair enough. That's what she thought.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until like we used to go to like Spain like every year. So that was like the big spend. You know.
Yeah.
So anything else was just like, no, we're not going to do that. But in fact, I remember one time I thought we was going to Alton Towers, and we ended up just like going over the road to like Alton Village and having a picnic. And I was fucking so gutted, but I couldn't say I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say how disappointed I was.
But here comes the tears that Matt wanted.
What?
Yeah,
the devastation.
That is.
I was like, I thought we was going to go to Alton Towers.
Do you want a sandwich, Sean?
That's child abuse. I don't give a fuck. File a claim off that shit. Fucking hell, mate. I'm so sorry.
Mate,
did you go to the day?
At the end of the day,
you're still taking therapy for that, Sean.
Mate, I've made videos for Nemesis. It's fine. It worked out at the end.
I'm all right now.
Maybe that was to prove how much you do love it. It was to put you through, like, right, let's see how much he does, like, love it. Let's see how much he complains that we're not going in the park. And then you're staying, now you're following John Waldie around there. That
was the motivation, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is it.
It probably was the motivation.
Get into that park.
I come from eating sandwiches at the Chained Oak to directing John Wardley.
The name of your book. Picnic at the Chained Oak to Nemesis.
But like when I finally went to Alton Towers, I think I was about 13 or 14. That was when like my enthusiasm like just peaked. Like all my mates, all my friends I was with, we did everything, but like they just like the next day at school they were just like back to normal. I was like, I just couldn't get out of my head. And then that's what led me to like finding out more about the whole history of towers, and then going onto all the forums, and then I was just hooked from then. And for a lot of years, for me, it was just aimed purely at towers. Like I was just wanting to know everything about towers, because obviously when you first go and the first few trips, like the place is so big, and you reveal different places every time you go, and you maybe only go like once a year. Yeah. So it was just like had that kind of mystery about it still.
Yeah.
And then I just got really hooked into it. And I remember when I think it was when 13 opened, because I followed the whole like Smiler construction. That was the first construction I properly like followed from like start to finish. But I remember when 13 opened that they actually, that was the first time I ever saw John Wardy's book in the gift shop, and I remember buying it and then reading that. That was when Amazon just still sold books, but only sold like mainstream books.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get it anywhere, really.
Park, and you
couldn't get it anywhere like you can get now. You could only get it like at Towers, as I remember. And I remember buying that book and then reading it like so many times. That was when I was in my 20s. That was early 20s.
They had it in weird shops as well. Like they'd have it in airs, and then they'd have it in like 13s, and then you wouldn't see it again until like one little shelf in like Towers Trading by the tills or something like that. It was really weird and it was really hard to get hold of when it first came out. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was, but that was it. And then after the whole like Smiler construction, that's when I started like really opening up, like watching vlogs and stuff, and then seeing like all these different parks like all around the world, and being like, not just thinking about Disney, like or Universal. Because I remember when I was younger, I had one of my aunties bought me like a coaster book, and I used to look through that all the time, and it was always just full of like American coasters, weren't it? So
did you ever see that program that used to be on, like we're of a similar age when we were a kid? Like, was it like Coaster Wars?
Discovery Channel.
And it'd be on like Channel 5 at like
because Channel 5 had all them.
Yeah. There was one like mega structures and stuff like that. Used to have posters on it and stuff.
I always remember seeing like Superman Escape from Krypton was always on
in slow mo.
Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast was always on there, like as these mad new coasters and stuff. But I always remember that as a kid, like it was always on, and I'd always be like in bed, like Lola, I'm asleep, but I'd be like watching it on TV.
Yeah. And they always used to juggle, like, at the top of Superman as well. They always used to throw balls in the air for some reason. This is zero gravity. Like, they used to...
I think that's a dream, mate.
No, that happened. I'm gonna find that and send it in the chat. Like, that happened. They did it every time they wrote it. This is zero gravity.
But
I don't remember throwing balls at the top of Superman, but, you know, that's what you saw.
I will find it.
We talk about like enthusiasm and like meetups a lot, but like I was so like, I feel like a lot of introverts end up making YouTube channels for some reason. It's a really weird thing.
For sure.
That even like some of the most popular like YouTubers and stuff, or like vloggers and things, like end up being like quite introverted. And that was very much the same as me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I ended up pushing myself to make start my channel was when I actually started talking to. I mean, you were one of the first people I spoke to, Luke, when I come on your podcast, when the Coaster Gen podcast. But yeah, that really like kickstarted the enthusiasm for me, because I already had the enthusiasm for like theme parks and roller coasters.
Yeah,
but it wasn't until I really started my channel that I started actually like properly talking to other enthusiasts.
Same.
I remember. Oh, God, whatever. Right.
No, I interrupted you. Carry on.
I just remember seeing your first video you ever put out, and I was like, I need to speak to this guy. We've got so much in common. Like, let's just have a chat. And then we had that talk on the show, and from there it's just been mad. Like, known you for like 3 years now, which is mad to say.
That's crazy, isn't it? Like, that's a long time.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like that long.
It is fucking nuts. It's been so cool. Like you say though, I am always a bit quiet at meetups and stuff like that, because that's just the kind of person I am. But it's just, you know, when I'm filming about something that I'm really passionate and enthusiastic about, I can't help but just geek out when I'm filming coasters and stuff.
Because you're passionate about it. It's one of
I love it.
You've got to let it out, haven't you?
You do. I'm just glad we've got an outlet for it as well.
Yeah. So Chris says, mine comes from my mum and dad regularly taking us to South Park and Camelot. I remember how
Big up South
I was
Park.
doing Traumatizer for the first time. I remember.
Yes.
Huge.
I used to lap Traumatizer.
Traumatizer did look huge. It
was good back then.
Massive.
Look at the state of it now. It was good then. I used to go round and round.
Every time you get a glimpse of the red track on Infusion, you're like, I remember the good old days when it used to be
It used to be fun.
Did it look massive though at Southport? When you went down the front, it was fucking huge. It did look bigger than what it is. It really did.
So roller bars and coaster dad said same experience as a kid with Alton Broad near Lowestoft. But we had we did have Pleasurewood later in the week.
Nice.
Projection said I was into our roller coaster tycoon as a kid.
It
Yeah,
wasn't-
mate, I was flipping obsessed with that thing.
That's how it all
was
started.
so
for me,
good.
Yeah,
honestly.
That was like my only outlet as a kid to like.
Yep.
There was no other outlet for my passion than roller coaster tycoon.
There
Like,
wasn't,
that was
no.
it. And you know what the funniest thing was? I didn't have a computer at home until I was 15.
Yeah,
Same.
I didn't have one until
I did not have a computer. So
14.
so like I had a lot of friends when I was growing up around my area and stuff, and like we used to go out all the time, but sometimes there'd be nothing to do. I would literally go and like hijacked my
How
mate's
is our
computer.
life the same? But
Like-
not like.
And then it got to the point where my mate's mom was just like, "You can't. We're having dinner. Like you can't just like, you can't stay in the corner of our room."
But it
or,
won't
like,
make it round yet.
I was
Increase
just- I
the
used to
lift
just,
hill
like,
speed.
I had this like one copy of like roller coaster tycoon on CD, and I just take it round to all my mates'
Yeah.
houses. Who had,
Yeah,
like,
for
decent-
sure. Fucking hell, that is
Um,
exactly
Oh,
how.
that's
that's
I remember
exactly how
when
it
I got
started.
RCT. Literally got it, but also was ill for like a week, so I was off
Yeah.
school for an entire week just
Oh,
playing roller
you
coaster
got
tycoon.
yeah.
ill.
No,
Ill.
yeah, I was ill, but
Oh my
yeah,
god.
It's
got
like
an
just
entire
seen-
week just to play.
What?
I've just seen a comment like YMCA Coasters says he used to go up to people who did channels and talk to them. The best story ever was before we started our channel. Me and Carl went out into Manchester as a town. I went to
Yeah.
Pop World, and I spotted Butty there. Michael Butt was there,
Yeah.
and at the time I didn't know Carl knew him. I just knew Butty as this bloke that was on YouTube talking about roller coasters.
And just for like context, like Carl didn't. He's a bit better now, but he never watched vlogs or anything. did he?
No.
Like,
He didn't know when I told
He
him.
didn't know anyone. Like,
And I remember being in Pop World and going to Carl. I was like, Carl. I was like, this guy over here, like, I watch him on YouTube. He does like theme park vlogs on YouTube. And Carl like looked over and went, Butty? And I was like, I was like, you know who he is? And he was like, he lives across the road from me. And I was like, and literally he shouted him over, and I was like, "No, stop it!" And he came over, and I remember being like legitimately starstruck. I was like, "It's Michael Butts talking to this man." And I remember having this
I just want to
conversation.
say, like Mike is like a certified legend, man.
He is.
Like, he is.
But
He's
Carl
such a
was so
legend.
casual. Carl was like,
gang
I go to Scouts with him. He lives across the road from me. I'm like, why have you never told me?
The best thing. The best.
Does Buddy know this story? I assume he knows.
Yeah,
Okay.
The best memory I have of the first time I ever met Mike, we went to on the night time we went to that rock club, and that's when I found out he's like Bowling for Soup's #1 fan.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I did not expect that from Mike. Like it was just,
We
it was
need
amazing.
to
though.
get them guys on. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Has to make that happen.
I'm just going to keep going through the
he's a great
comments because
dude.
there's a lot of people sharing their own stories. So, for me, Iona said, for me, I think it was going on a coaster and just forgetting all my worries for a few minutes, even from being a kid, and then it just kind of grew me from there.
Yeah, for sure.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get going. I remember John said, I remember as a big kid being so excited when a program about roller coasters would be on Discovery Travel
Yes.
channels.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, apparently you're validated, Luke. It was.
Thank you.
Jersey
Zero
Air-
gravity.
The balls.
Jersey
balls.
Jersey Airtime said those 4 minutes or less I'm free, no thinking, just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go. Out and back travel, worked in Towers Retail when the John Morley book came out, and he used to pop into the shop and sign the copies in the shower. Complete legend. He's
Oh, that's
such a
amazing.
Oh
I would
wow.
die.
honestly, like I spent like almost a day with John when it was the Nemesis closing day, and like he just wanted to talk to everyone. Like I remember like people, I remember like we was kind of like, oh, if you want to just like, don't worry, we can go if you. And he's like, no, we need to like, I need to talk to. I want to. Like he just wanted to talk to everyone.
He was an absolute legend. I remember we was all sat in Costa Coffee. Like Chris and Gemma were there, me and Carl and some others, and we
Yeah.
saw him walking up, and I was out the window, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's John Wadley, it's John Wadley,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Play it cool," and then when he stopped, I went, fuck it. Like, I don't run for shit, but I dived over that sofa in Costa Coffee and like ran outside and had this conversation. And I remember like the kids came with me and he spoke to me, he spoke to the kids. He was just so happy to speak to everyone. And then before
he's for the people. He's for the people.
Sure.
Well, it was like when he did
Not
the
just
first time I
for
met
creation,
him was at the 25th anniversary, and we like waited in line for like an hour and a half. The line was huge, but like when we got to him, he just spoke to us for like a good 10 minutes. Like it didn't feel like they wanted to. He didn't want to move. It never felt like that. Because he spent time with everyone, and that's what was just so good about it. And so James said, shout out to Sean and Emma when I met you at guys at Warsaw Scare Maze.
Yes!
James was an actor inside Warsaw
What a
Scare Maze.
guy.
Oh no way! That's
One of the people who hinted me and still like growing my
Is he
eyebrow
the one
back.
that waxed your eyebrow?
He wasn't the one.
Well done, James.
He was culpable.
Oh, hi, James.
Hi,
That's
James.
quality.
It's really good to see you that night.
I was dead drunk, but I do remember.
I was very drunk. So I'm just sorry. I just want to make sure I'm reading everyone's stories.
No, it's fine. It's good.
Living in Warrington, the ginger one said, living in Warrington, I grew up with
Not
Gullivers and then went to Florida in the late 90s with my grandparents and seeing Arlington Adventure getting built. From there, I started taking me to towers and I'm hooked.
What a holiday.
The ginger one.
Yeah.
Do you still live in Warrington now? Because I literally live on the border of Warrington. Like, it might be close. That's exciting.
Don't dox yourself.
The
2000.
border.
I've seen your DMs. Don't. Ad said in 2002 was my first real year doing parks. By the end of 2003, I was on the Towers Science team, and that was that 20 years.
Nice.
And now Ad is a certified legend.
2003 was 20
There
years
you
ago.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
James said my first visit to Drayton was out of the blue, and me and my brother went into Thomasland and was crying with laughter with all the kids looking at us.
Standard procedure.
Gemma said my mum was obsessed with Rollercoaster Tycoon and loved all the challenges. She got angry when I started playing it and wiped her results.
Oh my god!
Results.
That is a grounding offence.
I think my enthusiasm proper started, I realised in myself, was when all my mates moved away from Rollercoaster Tycoon. I went onto RuneScape and just was like wanted to play RuneScape all the time, and I was still on that like Rollercoaster Tycoon grind, man.
The legitimate one.
Claire said, was anyone else so obsessed with Coasters despite being terrified by them? And you spend so long reading Coaster Force.
Yes.
And goes to Thorpe and then you rhyme flying fish.
I was shit scared of coasters.
That's a very common thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Enthusiasm.
I was really scared, and we go to Blackpool almost once every month. Living in Manchester, it's just one of them things you do pretty much when you're growing up in the 90s. And it was just like, we're going to go to Blackpool. Okay. Are we going on the Pleasure Beach? Yeah, I was going to walk through, and you look at the coasters, and I was just obsessed with these like machines just moving around, the energy in the park, the amount of people, the sounds, everything about an amusement park was just like, it just drew me. Everything drew me towards it. And it wasn't until they started building the big one where I was like old enough to understand what was going on. And I really like got into it through the construction of the big one. And my mate across the road, Kazi was called. He had a computer. I didn't have one. He had RCT. I didn't have it. And then he went on a trip to Islands of Adventure with his family in Busch Gardens and came back with all the photos. And that was it. I was like, I have to get on these machines and experience this.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. It was a bit like yourself. If there was nothing to do, we'd just go in his room and just play RCT for like hours.
Yeah.
You know, my mum would knock on their door and be like, Luke needs to come back now. Like it's getting dark outside sort of thing. And I was like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, when are you back from school sort of thing. He was a couple of years older than me as well. So it was like, I was always waiting for him to come back from like school or wherever, waiting for his car to turn up and just knock on his door straight away and got it. And eventually my dad got me a computer. with a crap
Yeah.
version of RCT1, and it was just like,
That's illegal.
oh, it was so mint.
The best example of that kind of that whole common thread of a lot of enthusiasts used to being like scared of rides.
I was
like,
really scared. Yeah,
you can't sum it up better than Tom Scott's journey. You know,
Yeah.
the whole
Oh,
video
yeah.
he did. Have you seen his latest video?
Yes, where
Yes.
he went to the
This is
Luna Park.
on the main channel as well, not even
Yeah.
on like the Alton Towers one. The
Yeah.
main one is on the Scenic Railway in Australia.
Luna Park.
At Luna Park, and it's all about like how it's got an onboards brakesman, and like
oh
it's,
yeah,
See, the
it's
thing is,
so
You would
like,
have thought
it's-
he would have been terrified of that, considering it's someone controlling it
but
and
you
not
can
the
tell like
machine
he's
itself.
fully into it now, because he even
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, I didn't expect to get airtime off that hill," and to like enthusiasts, that's like such a common thing to say, but
Yeah.
for like someone who isn't, that is a proper enthusiast term, like airtime. Like he's well into it now. You can tell.
of course
like,
he is.
that journey. It's so good to see. But yeah, I just love the fact that there's a main channel video. He's managed to get that enthusiasm into his YouTube channel now. His main one,
It's
anyway.
sick. It's so
It's
good.
great. It's so good.
I love
Can
it.
I just say this conversation is so wholesome.
Yeah.
I'm having the best time. I'm like, it's so nice to listen to
It's-
everyone's
it's
stories.
mad.
Wait, is there any tears yet?
Neither.
Otherwise,
No,
Matt's
but
gonna
I've
be
had a
disappointed.
drink. They're coming soon. I've had a drink. Carry on. everyone.
Andrew said my gateway to the community was looking up Wicker Man on YouTube in 2018, discovered Coaster Bot, and it snowballed from there. There we
Yeah,
go.
I mean, if you discover it through
Mhm.
Coaster Bot, it's gonna,
Coaster Bot.
it's gonna, yeah, it's
Coaster
gonna, it's gonna snowball, isn't it? Because that is a lot of information to take in at first.
He makes
Like-
it so accessible, though. That's
Yeah,
something
we
I
had
love
we
from-
had Coaster Force if we were lucky. Like that was
Yeah.
my homepage. Like every
Yeah.
time I was refreshing every 10 minutes. What's going on? What's
Mm.
going on? What's going on? Then like
So-
Air, when Air was being
Yeah.
built, that was the first major Alton Towers ride that really got me to want to go to the park. So
Mm.
Does everyone remember what their first like inverting coaster was, like upside down coaster?
I do.
Air.
I remember mine.
Does everyone
Mine
remember?
was Klondike Gold Mine.
A Drayton!
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
so
my
good.
first one. Because I wanted to do Shockwave so bad, and then I was just like, well, I'll do this smaller one first, not realizing that actually Klondike was way more intense than
It was
Shockwave.
mental.
It was insane.
It was-
The fact that that coaster still exists now is insane. Like,
Is it?
yeah.
Where?
It was a traveling ride for a long time, and now it's like somewhere like so random. Someone in the chat will know, but it's like
Ads,
think
where is
it's-
it?
I think it's like I don't know, man. I'm sure it's like in just some like Russian country.
I used to remember being
Russia somewhere.
studying that queue line for Klondike Mine, and you know it was like wood paneling on the walls, and I always remember the wood paneling was always so much taller than me that I couldn't
Yeah.
see. Like, I
Yeah,
remember being
yeah.
that, you know, like I remember being really small in the queue, but you couldn't see above the top.
oh my
of the
god.
wood.
Yeah, that was mad. My first
Um,
major coaster at Towers was Oblivion, but my first inverting coaster was Air.
But that's
Okay.
a nice one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a nice one.
That's a good one to do.
My first, like,
Which
upside
tells
down
you how
coaster-
scared I was because Revolution was at Blackpool for ages.
That's
and-
disgusting, though. That's terrifying. Like, you
Yeah,
made the right choice.
Yeah.
Mine,
Yeah,
was,
right.
mine was Corkscrew at Flamingo Land
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Nice.
before it got taken out,
Yeah.
and that was huge for me just because. So like I mean like I've been in love with roller coasters since I was literally like 3 years old. I don't really accredit like that far back as when I became an enthusiast, like quote unquote enthusiast, but like
Yeah.
it's literally
Always
been since I was,
interested
3
in
years
them.
old.
Yeah.
And like the first time I went to, because I've lived like an hour or an hour plus away from Flamingo Land for most of my life, and it was Corkscrew and then the Bullet, like that. Those two that always just drew my attention. Like I was like fixated on them, and to have Corkscrew be my first like coaster that went upside down. Like I remember coming off it and just saying, I feel really light. I don't know why. I kept running about like dying for. I go to where I was like, I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog So I felt so spry and light and agile and shit. And I was just
yeah.
It was a new feeling. Like it was a completely new feeling from like. I think at that point I had been to Alton Towers before, like, but like obviously not been on like Nemesis or any of them there. So like going back to Flamingo Land and thinking it's time. It's like first of all, I was finally tall enough, right? I was finally tall enough to go on it, and finally getting on that was like. It's kind of I feel like it's kind of poetic because it was like the first like major coaster at the time that I had seen in person, and then like I have all of those same those same stories of, you know, just rinsing the fuck out of Roller Coaster Tycoon and watching documentaries and stuff like that, and I mean like it was both of those were huge to me. And then like I don't know if you guys ever like saw the other roller coaster games that popped up. Like you had
Ultimate Ride, bro. Hyper Rails, let's go.
How did you literally took the name out of my mouth? That was literally just an Ultimate Ride, the Disney
which was
one.
A Disney game.
Hyper it was a Disney game. Hyper Rails. Those were the two until I found out about No Limits. Yeah. Like all of them. It was so funny about Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like all I would do is just fill up parks with roller coasters and put literally nothing else in the park.
Rides. Yeah.
It took my mum sitting down with me and just saying, like, you got to put other things in these parks as well.
Guess number
no, you do not.
Needs a toilet. Like you need to put toilets
you got to put toilets in there. You got to put.
You do what you want, Mikhail.
Energylandia didn't get that memo. Like
apparently not. But yeah, like it was like all of those were all of those things were like frequent in like
theme park.
Theme park
was
theme park was. I didn't really play
coaster for the first time.
I didn't really play theme park that much, but like Ultimate Ride and Hyper Rails, and then obviously later on No Limits. Like those were the two, and then like to be honest, I like when it comes to accrediting like certain moments. To, like really cementing me in this like enthusiasm. Like I accredit it to riding Nemesis for the first time, and I accredit it to riding Incredible Hulk at Anne's Adventure the first time. Like the first time I tried to ride Nemesis, obviously I was terrified because it was pissing down rain at the time. Like the first few times I went to Alton Towers, it did nothing but rain. Like it did nothing but rain every single time I went there. Yeah. And then like the first time I tried to ride, I, you know, built up the courage to just get in the queue line. It was pissing down rain. It obviously looked. Yeah, it is. It is.
Massive,
it is. And like obviously it was pouring down rain, and like Nemesis looks intimidating in general, let alone when it's raining. And I couldn't do it, and literally was beating myself up the entire way home. And I was like usually like we would go like Alton Towers was one of those places that we would only go to like once a year. And once we figured out that like we could go in the spring bank holiday where it's not quite as busy as the summer, but it's still good weather, we just went like our one time in the year was in the spring bank holiday. So like we did that. Eventually went back the year later, rode it, and me and my mum both came off. I was like, "Yo, that was amazing, wasn't it?" You Russian country.
Do you remember when Pleasure Beach back in the day used to do the tokens in the newspaper, and it used to be 50p a ride?
Yeah.
If you collected out the paper, 50p to ride the big one.
Yeah.
50p.
That's when I first went with my dad. That he just had a load of
every
things.
Easter. It was always at Easter. We always went. 50 pence.
Crazy, isn't it? How much is Enzo?
I don't know. I've never rode it. I wouldn't know.
You haven't rode it?
50 quid.
No.
You know what? The funniest thing was, when we had that Towers, PBE event, Pleasure Beach Experience.
Yep.
Your experience guide. when we did that event, like they gave a free go on Enzo out and did a raffle, and I won it.
Oh, I was livid.
And-
You got shit for that.
But like I well, the
genuinely
thing is,
did.
I'd already done like a
Yeah.
few rides in it. I didn't
Just
pay for it
nothing.
though. I paid out my own money
Yeah.
to do it. But then like I won that, so I did it. And then like afterwards, Emma was just like, "Oh, I haven't even done it yet." And I was like, "If you had told me that, I literally would have given you this."
I was going to do it.
She didn't.
when we
She
went
just with the whole
closing
time. She didn't
weekend.
tell me that. And I was like,
Well,
I would have just given you this.
I
It's
was
like
gonna
that
go and
meme, isn't
ride
it? Just
it.
clenching fists, just.
And to rub it in, that was the best ride in Enzo I had.
Yeah,
It was
great,
hot,
nice one,
dude,
Sean.
yeah, it was great.
I've still not ridden Enzo. I need to
I've
not
ride
ridden
Enzo.
Enzo.
Yeah,
I was
It's
going to
fair,
ride
fair.
it on closing weekend. I said to Carl and the people that were
Yeah.
with us, I was like, I'm going to ride it because I'm frightened that it might not come back for 2023.
Sure.
And I remember I scanned the QR code at the entrance, didn't work. I went on the
Oh.
thing, didn't work. And I was like, out of frustration, it could fuck
Mm.
off. I'm not doing it. Right, I'm not walking all the way back to the entrance. I'm back here now. I'm not doing it. I'm not
Oh,
looking to get services.
That's your own stubbornness. That is.
But now, if it doesn't come back next year, I'm going to be like,
Yeah, if you didn't come back,
Yeah. Apparently it is though. I mean,
Sure.
Well, yeah,
fault
they
if it doesn't
showed
come
that they were
Big
doing
building
maintenance
they
on
should
that
tell me.
train, so
yeah, I think I think it's here for a while. To be fair,
Yeah,
why
of course
wouldn't
it
it
is.
be?
they spent a
Um,
lot of money on that.
Yeah, and it's never like, even when Icon's queues coming out of the gate, it's like not a long wait anyway. So
hour
it's,
tops,
I don't
really.
think that
Yeah.
taking off that back round one train hasn't really made much difference. But yeah, it's worth. I think what Enzo is worth doing. Obviously, it's not a ride to happiness. That's not what it's meant to be. But it's just a different experience to have.
It's right
I
to
still
have
stand
some
by
wish.
it. It's a good experience. It is overpriced. It 100% is overpriced, but it's worth doing once, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Luke, have you got anything else to say about your entry into enthusiasm?
Just like watching the construction of Air with my mate across the road. That was the first thing we covered, and my dad took us, and we went to Air first. And like Mikhail, I didn't ride Nemesis. I didn't ride anything else that day. I just enjoyed being at Alton Towers. And then I was like, when am I going back? This can't just happen all the time. We didn't have the money to do it. School ran a trip, which was just insane, and managed to do Oblivion and Nemesis that day. So that was it. That was it. I was in, and then it came back, and then we went to Blackpool probably a couple of months later, and we got our first ever full wristband, me and my dad as a family, and that was it then. When I knew I could walk through the turnstiles and not care about what's going to happen,
Yeah.
it was the most freeing feeling I've ever experienced in my life. Nothing will beat it. I was just like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and nothing's going to stop me. It's just great.
Yeah. It's a great feeling. Can I just read out Joe's thing? Because this one, it kind of irks me a little bit though, because she's got a rare.
Yeah.
My first big coaster was Magnus Colossus. At
Magnus
Darren.
Colossus, what a
Yeah.
coaster! Oh yes, Benidorm holidays. Whoop whoop.
Massive body built into the mountains. Remember coming off that a changed person. I was brave enough to do Shockwave after that.
Nice.
So we went back to Terra Mythica, which is also it's a park that no one ever goes to. Like
I know.
there's no
It's
vlogs on
lovely.
it.
It's
I've looked up for vlogs on it. There's nothing on it. That I've
It's
seen
such a
anyway.
nice park.
But yeah,
I
I think
remember Terra Mythica being on Benidorm, you know, the TV series.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I was
like literally
well
like
It's at the top of Benidorm. You can't go any
Yeah.
further north of
Yeah, 'cause
Benidorm. It's
we
literally
went-
on top of the hill.
we went on a big family holiday to Benidorm, and it was
Yeah.
like it was cheap and cheerful, and it was flipping great, man.
was
like we
amazing.
did it
I
all
love
inclusive,
Benidorm holiday.
and the
It's
booze
like
was
Blackpool with
phenomenal.
sunshine.
Yeah,
It
literally
literally is that. Yeah.
And the water park there is really good as well, actually.
Oh, Aqualandia, is it?
yeah,
Something like that?
Aqualandia.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was-
it is Aqualandia. Yeah.
My dad got a black eye from one at slides because he it's another one. You know the one with the
Jo-
grip.
Yeah,
grip.
yeah.
We let go of the
Joe's
grip and whacked
Joe's
him.
brother, like when we was there, Joe's brother did one of them. You know, like where you hold onto the handlebars and you like a zip line over the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
And then he basically it was the second day of the holiday. He grips onto it. He's a big lad, so he does it. He gets like a little bit, and then he just falls straight into the water, belly flopped the water.
Ow.
So bad. He just come out and he was like red the whole way down his body. It was so funny though. But yeah, we went to Terra Mythica, and like just seeing that coaster just rotting away in the Spanish sun, it was just so sad to see. And I was like, oh, I'd love to have done that. I know it wasn't meant to be very good, but
it was.
Still would have liked to.
It was nice. It was different because you're on the side of a cliff face, like you built into a quarry pretty much on the whole thing, and it was just so weird. It had one really cool moment after a helix. It just drops off. That was really cool. The rest of it was just like snail's pace, but it was fun. And the double down, the armchair drop as well was fun. That was cool.
So projection said Terra Mythica is bad. It's not great, but it's a park. It's got some coasters in it. It's like if you're there, it's worth doing. Like
it'd be well fun though. You could like put it into like a 3 or 4 day little holiday, like beaches, bars, have a little piss up, and then a little day out at Terra Mythica. Nice.
I reckon once Escape to Gotham is out, like doing a Spanish coaster trip is a worthwhile thing to
That'd
do.
Be sick.
Just doing all the little places on water park, just water parks alone. Like you could just do, just fly around that place, that little you could travel around.
I don't go to enough water parks. It annoys me.
Do better, Luke. Do better.
Well, me and Joe said that like we've recently I've always loved water parks, but like since going back to Florida and then actually doing the water parks, the first time I went around, I didn't do the water parks. Yeah, like I fell in love with water parks. Rulantica is like the main thing for me want to get back to Europa Park. It's just Rulantica alone. Like I just want to do it.
That's madness.
It's so good.
Terra Mythica also has the old Alton Towers Bone Shaker.
No way.
Yeah,
It's there.
Yeah,
Much to the annoyance of the Towers Times quiz participants. We got that one.
We did. Yeah, we did get one.
I did not.
I didn't do it, and I've read in it. So, so there you go. But no, it's good.
I did my first drop tower there, actually, Terra Mythica. The Flame Phoenix one is themed to a Phoenix Summit, but that was my first drop tower. Hated it.
Projection said, but then you could go to Salou, or you could go to Salou and Terra Mythica and Park
Madrid.
Don't forget about Park the Attracciones. In Madrid
that's
as well.
free on your Pleasure Beach Pass. Park the
Attractions.
Ooh, not sponsored.
Just saying.
Definitely not.
What is everyone's opinions on Old Town being demolished? Well, we did cover that earlier in the episode, and I say thank flipping God. Let's go.
Yay!
It needed to happen, but it is sad.
It is sad. No, it is sad. It is definitely sad. But it has to happen for it to move forward. That place looks sad. Outside of Fright Nights, that place was dead. Like it was just bad. They sold curly fries there, and that was it.
Unless you've got children and you have to sit there for an hour
curly
and 45
fries at a
minutes
place that
while they
wasn't
went
a Merlin
around
thing.
on bloody rides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they
curly
weren't
fries
Merlin
place, you couldn't get your Merlin discount there.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Ruthless.
No,
It's like,
no, it was
what's
not.
the point in being in a Merlin park when you can't get a Merlin discount?
Eastern Express is the same as well. Do banging down a kebab, but you can't get discounts. Annoying.
Question for the room: does it count as 2 creds if it's the same coaster in a new place? No, it doesn't.
No.
Otherwise, I'll be on like double.
Doesn't. Any questions in the chat, people? If we've missed your comment about what got you into enthusiasm, comment it again below because I've tried to go through everything, but it's a lot of comments. So let us know in the chat. But yeah, that's a good episode. I like that. It was really fun doing that topic.
Yeah, we need to do more topics like where we just talk.
Well,
yeah, when
that's
the
what
chat
that's,
can get involved, it's
yeah,
nice.
that's what it's going to be. That's what it's meant to be. But I think this week, because we had so much news,
it's a fucking every theme park in
that was a very
universe.
random thing. I think it's everyone just wanted to release stuff this week, so
yeah,
it's going to be more like that going forward, where we're going to be doing more topic-based things every week. So that's fine. And again, we've said it before, but we want to get more guests on each week as well. So we're going to try on that as well.
Yeah.
Anyone doing last minute for Taj of Winterim on there next Friday? Funny you should say that.
Yeah, well,
Don't tempt me.
Is it
I was
time?
there last month?
This time next
I've
week.
got my
Is
passport
it time?
back now. I can do it.
This
I
time
still
next
have
week,
this, and this is still valid. Can I come?
you can give it me. You can give
I've
it
got
me.
like 2 or 3 of them.
This is valid until. Oh no,
valid
29th
this
of
year.
Jan. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, we'll be there. We're going out on the this time next week. We will be not in Fantasia Land, but we'll be in location, ready to go.
If you want to watch a vlog, there's one on Coaster Gen. Go and check that out. We did everything.
Yeah, go check it out. Laura said first time seeing Nemesis, never been to Towers before, and it clicked seeing the music, etc. I didn't get to ride it until many years later. There we go. Oh, here we go. Craig, my dad died. He lived football. I couldn't go no more. Too painful. I found this amazing hobby with more amazing people.
Oh.
You know what, Craig? That's flipping crazy. You said that because
Yeah.
I used to watch like religiously go to Aston Villa, and I was a big supporter of Aston Villa. I used to go with my granddad all the time, and then when he died, I couldn't go for ages. I ended up going again, but it's just never been the same after that for me. And then like this really like took over my kind of hobbyism. I still have a passing interest in it, but it's just since my granddad died, like I just can't really do it. That's crazy said that. So Joyland Snails growing up.
I can't wait to do Joyland Snails in June.
Oh mate, it's so good. Like
I cannot wait.
Yeah, Great Yarmouth for me was like a big part of my childhood.
We've booked a caravan in June. I can't wait.
I forgot to mention.
Nice.
I forgot to mention it though, but like honestly, going to Great Yarmouth, we used to go every year. We'd go to Spain, and then we'd go with my grandparents to Great Yarmouth, Hemsby, just up the road, and then we'd go there and do like go there. And Joyland was just amazing. Like seeing that as a kid was insane because it was just it was like so colourful. It was like, oh, it's amazing. And you know what? We went back a couple of years ago, and it's so impressive to see like Great Yarmouth still like looking good. Because you know, if you go back to like an old beach town,
completely agree,
and you're like, oh, it's all looking a bit old and battered and stuff. Like, and also that's what Great Yarmouth's really nice. It's kept.
I can't wait. Get to do the tub twists. I'm well giddy.
Yeah, honestly, that is like, and it's rare. It's a rare thing to do now.
Yeah,
on them as well.
You get on the roller coaster as well, Scenic Railway.
Scenic Railway is brilliant. Like that was one of the first coasters I did.
Woo!
That was, and that was when I read John Waller's book, and I realised his whole link with Great Yarmouth as well. That blew my mind because I knew everything to do with Great Yarmouth at that point. So yeah, great. NF Attraction saying for me going Alton Towers for the first time on a school trip in 2018, got dragged onto Oblivion, hated it, and dragged onto Enterprise, and just got so interested in it, how it's safe, and got into that way. Nice.
Yeah.
Tom Frill said I used to go to Pleasure Beach at Cleethorpes with my mum every year with the discount vouchers in the local paper, which really began our journey into theme parks.
It's all about the newspaper.
It was, wasn't it?
All about the vouchers.
They had so much power back in the day, didn't they?
Yeah. Carl said mine going with my parents to Towers, Flamingo Land, and Gulliver, then Florida at 8. Oh God, Mr. Moneybags. He come from a well-off family then.
Bloody hell, yeah. Wow.
Then Emma introduced me to this amazing world, and it's been the best thing. There we go.
You're welcome.
Gemma said mine was riding Big One with my dad. It was pouring down in rain, but still loved every minute of it. Yeah,
my first ride on the big one with my dad actually was in Hailstone. It stopped at the top, and then they just let us go. They thought, fuck it. That was my first ride on the big one.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I've got the picture of it. I'm like,
yeah. We need that enthusiast trip to Great Yarmouth. That's a good one. Yeah, we need to do that.
That would be really cool.
We have come to the end of the episode.
Everyone
let's do a big group trip. We went well over time. It's such a long episode.
30 minutes over. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. There we go. Right. Yeah. So thanks to everyone for getting in the chat. It's been great. Like, honestly, it's every time we do an episode recently, we're getting more and more comments in the chat. We're getting more people on board. And that's what it's all about, really. Even though we do a lot of news, like we don't want it to be news centric all the time. It's just like this was a random episode with so much news.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be going back to a little bit of news and then the main topic like we just did. So there'll be shorter episodes. But there we go.
Yeah.
So yes, thanks again, Emma, for being a new chain dog. Hope you enjoyed.
Thanks for having me.
Episode.
Welcome.
You've done your first episode now, so we won't keep referring to you as the new chain dog. You just you're not special anymore. Yeah, we're not going to make a song and dance about it.
I want it every week for at least 6 weeks. Thank you.
It's like
Hey, you're expecting 6 weeks. We only hired you for 5.
Yeah.
Well, I ate a pork pie before, so I'm not even going to be back next week.
Yeah,
We're all going to have a pork pie next week.
I'm getting a meal.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a meal.
Apart from Sean.
Mukbang
We'll have a
next week.
spinach pie.
Yeah, true. Mate, don't underrate it. Spinach pie is pretty good, to be honest. I've actually had spinach pie.
It's a Popeye live on fucking chain dogs.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you next week on the Chain Dogs. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.